Shoot.
I was running I'm running the new version of OBS right now, 28,
Okay.
which isn't working with things like Stream Deck and stuff like that. But it
Yet.
yeah, right now. If I want to use a Stream Deck, I could just go back to 27 point whatever. But yeah, with 27, it took away all of my shit. So like, I push all my buttons and it doesn't fucking do anything anymore. Um, but they'll update it. It's just
Yeah, exactly. It's a matter of time.
yeah. Um, how are you, buddy?
I'm good, man.
Oh well, yeah.
I'm
So
really
so
good.
so for these layouts, what do you use for the layout? Because I've seen a lot of dudes. I forget what it is, but there's like this plug-in
Hold
pack
on.
that you
I will
can.
share it with you right now. This is what it looks like. This is what I got.
But
It's
where
all
where do
within.
you put where do you get the
This is the Scythe scene collection.
right?
So I guess I don't know. I
So like
found
the
it through one of
company that
these
has
things.
those scene collections that like all those YouTubers post about, I can't use it because I'm on a Mac.
Really? I would think
Yeah,
that
and
Max had more stuff going on for them.
Macs have a lot less accessible because it's harder to write the code, I think.
Hmm.
Um,
Uh, Usually the stuff comes out for like iOS first before it hits Windows and all the other crap. I guess that's just
not in
app
anything
driven
I
stuff.
use. Not in anything I use. Like even Fruity Loops for years, I used Fruity Loops, and I was so happy when they finally made a Mac version. You know, for years and that's for all like programming and sequencing.
FL Studio.
Yeah, FL Studio. I've had it since 2006, and I couldn't use it for a long time when I moved
That's
over to
strange.
Mac, and then and even like stuff with like Fractal and stuff, like PC's always faster on releases. Mac, I don't know what's up with it. I guess the code is harder.
Must be.
Um,
There's
e-
certain weird things like app stuff that I'm aware of, like my side business, Hidden Hills. I'm not able to stack multiple discounts. Like I have a free shipping discount for friends and family who want to buy locally, but still pay through it through the site and everything. And I had another discount, like a 5% discount or something. But the only way you can stack discounts is if someone's using an iPhone.
really?
Yeah. If for some strange reason it's not supported for Android yet. So I'm just keeping quiet about that. Interesting, weird. I don't know. I got away from Mac years ago. My mother was a graphic designer back in the late 90s. And, things were a lot different, of course. But when she passed in '06, I inherited all her computer equipment, which at one point was top of the line graphic artist stuff. She had a MacBook Pro. I couldn't tell you what things were, but when by the time I got into it, the software was so outdated that hardware wouldn't support the newer software. So I couldn't use any modern programs. And that's when I started seeing like the business model of Mac. You just got to keep buying the newest thing, the biggest thing. It's
Yes and
const-
no. Yes and no. I right now the computer that I'm on, that we're talking on, is a 2015 iMac Pro, and for everything else, I use my MacBook Pro again from early 2015. My MacBook Pro is early 2015. My iMac is late 2015.
I guess they changed that up a lot because at the turning point, we're talking way
I
before that,
also
like
have
2006. And so,
I also have well, yeah. But I
yeah, there
also
was a
have
different hardware things. And I think Mac stopped making the motherboards, which was the main thing
well,
that
these are
like
Intel machines now.
right. That was the main thing. So
Yeah,
like when
these
I inherited stuff, it was kind of like at that turning point. I couldn't use any Pro Tools. I couldn't use even Photoshop or anything. Like I had to upgrade so much, and I was just like, this is bullshit. With a PC, I can constantly upgrade, constantly
well, so
tweak
here's
it
the
and
thing
build
too.
it.
So like in from 2005 to 2000 up until 2000 like 15 or 16, I was relying on the same custom built PC that I had, which bang for the buck, it was way cheaper than a Mac. But what I found with PCs, as far as music stuff goes, like in Darkness Descends and stuff, I had like the Motu 24 IO interface, so I had like 24 quarter-inch ins and outs and all this stuff, so I could like record drums and do all this shit. But if you just like tap that fucking wire, like you had to restart your computer for it to re-see the interface. And then and basically, so I had this setup that was supposed to be for mobile recording, and it had even been brought to Dingbats before. The very first Darkness Fest, I had this giant rack, this SKB rack with this rack mount computer in there, and I recorded everybody. I recorded all the bands from the very first Darkness Fest. And it was okay. It was just very finicky. Once I was working at School of Rock, and I had asked my boss, this dude Static, I was like, hey man, you're like fucking Mr. Little Tiny fucking everything, you know, like all these things he has all these little things he could put in, and like he has all this little tiny stuff that all amounts to like a big giant machine, but it's like a giant machine built out of all little tiny things. And I was like, bro, I was like, can you just like hand pick a computer and an interface for me to just have a super small recording rig for when I like go on tour and stuff, so I could just have it? And he put this MacBook Pro that I have on my bed and an Audient interface, which is the 2-channel version of this.
I can see that, yeah. I can, yep.
Yeah, this is the
ID3 or something.
The what?
Is it because like an ID3?
So the other one is ID14, and this one is ID44. He put those in there for me, and I just never turned back, because as I was like assembling everything, I didn't have to like install drivers. Everything was just fucking plug and play.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's just like, dude, to hook up the interface, I plugged it in through USB. I didn't have to like fucking install a driver. I didn't have to go through all this shit. If I unplug it, the computer still works. If I plug it back in while the computer's on, it goes back to fucking working, which is nothing that ever happened with fucking my PCs like ever. I felt like when I had this custom built PC, I was just on the phone with my friend who built the computer all the time trying to figure out why this shit wouldn't work. And so it's just my opinion that with the current generations of Mac, it's just so much more easy and so much more reliable and durable, that even though PCs are ridiculously fucking cheaper in every which way, for upgrades, for memory, for all that, PCs are definitely cheaper, but I've never had to make one fucking phone call to a single person about my MacBook Pro.
Nice.
Not once.
I think everybody's got their own experiences, because like do you like that Audient rig?
I love this thing.
Yeah, I see. I went with Focusrite just because that's the path I chose, and that was my close second. I was considering that one heavily. I don't know what
the
swayed
Audient
me.
is good because the preamps the reason why they're expensive, like this, I forget how much this was. It was like $600 or $700.
What about the 2-channel one?
Like $300 or $400.
Okay.
The 2-channel one I brought around the country with me fucking 10 times on tour.
The way you described that,
it never broke, it never didn't work, right? But the reason why they're so expensive is because the preamps that are in here,
yeah, they're really good.
They're the same preamps that are in their giant fucking top of the line boards.
That's
so
something.
It's like, you know, it's like I spent a little bit money here to not have to spend extra money down the road on preamps,
boosters and all. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like I got it all.
Yeah, the way you were describing the mobile rig, that's basically what I have set up with my system. I got a nice HP laptop that's about 2016 now. I got the Focusrite. Everything was just as simple as plug and play. I don't have to worry about anything. I got my Akai fucking MPK MIDI controller, plug in.
If
no
Static
problems.
had put an HP and a Focusrite in that,
yeah, it would have been the same thing. It's all the same thing. That's what I'm saying. It's all experience.
Like when I tell you I didn't pick out anything, I didn't pick out anything.
You rely on the experts, man. We know people who know better.
He picked out the MacBook, he picked out the interface, and he picked out the external hard drive, which now I fucking rely on these external hard drives where you just buy a Samsung drive, get a little external cartridge, and it hooks up their USB. I have 3 of those. Yeah. And yeah, and dude, it cost me $200 for a terabyte. That's exactly what the
Yep,
fuck I had. They're just sitting
exactly,
on top
dude.
of my computer.
Dude, I remember being a young kid having one of my first external hard drives. It was like 256 megabyte, I want to say, and it was like the size of a DVD
Yeah,
drive.
dude. Yeah,
It
like
was
I
huge.
have all those old school hard drives
Yeah,
underneath
yeah.
my fucking bed. I never touch them. You
No,
know, like
just like paperweights,
yeah, they're not even paperweights. They're
dust
hidden.
collectors.
Yeah, they're dust collectors, and every once in a while, I like plug them in to make sure, and go through them, see if there's anything. Most of the cool stuff off of those drives, I've put onto these new ones.
Yeah,
But again,
yeah.
those were disk drives, and these are solid state drives.
Oh yeah, no lag and loading time. Just
Yeah, so like
SSD.
I have the programs on the computer, and I run all the files off of the solid state drives. The only thing that's bad about Mac is for both my MacBook Pro and my iMac is that they solder in the RAM chips.
Oh, no upgrade.
But
Is
my
there an empty
MacBook
slot
Pro
at
has
least?
16 gigs of RAM,
That's good for another few years.
and my iMac has 32 gigs of RAM.
That'll be good for a decade.
Yeah, so,
I think I'm about
like,
16 right now.
and this iMac I got for free.
Tits.
Yeah, I got it from Courtney Pennick, Angels' old
Really?
bass player.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Um, she was moving and she was like selling this stuff, and I was like, bro, can I get that iMac? Because that'll like change my game. And and I was like, I don't really have money for it, but I was like, do you need anything to like get done? Right? And I basically just offered up myself as a fucking indentured servant.
Hey, man.
And I helped her move. And I
Okay.
packed up her whole apartment into
Oh,
one
you
of those
worked for it.
pods.
You worked
What?
for it.
Yeah, I worked for it, And
You
I
said
packed
free. I'm thinking like, oh, no, you worked for it.
Yeah, I fucking worked 12 to 15 hours for that shit. You know what I mean? Lifting heavy stuff. And I got this iMac, and I was given 2 cheese grater Macs. That if I just upgrade the fucking graphics card on both of them, they would be killer machines.
Nice. Okay.
They're both in New Jersey though, so I can't do anything with them. They're in my mom's
if
garage.
only you had a band that was doing things in New Jersey.
It's funny you say that.
It's funny because I kind of met with a certain guy named Zach like a few weeks ago at his studio to doctor
Weird.
some Thanatotic stuff.
Weird. Maybe I was on the phone with him as you were coming into the building.
Maybe I got some privileged information.
Yeah. We're kind of just in talks.
I don't care what it is. I love it.
Yeah. me, Zach, and Angry Jay, the only 3 remaining members of Darkness Descends. We've decided to start talking again and seeing what happens. And neither of the 2 demos that I have given these guys are anything metal related at all.
So it's like lightness descends.
Brightness ascends.
Brightness ascends. There we go.
That's what I told him. I was like, we should just call it Brightness Descends. We're not going to use the Darkness Descends moniker like that. We've decided on.
Okay.
Because
still you guys. That name carries so much.
I don't want to. I don't want to deal with that fucking kid again.
I know.
You
Say
know?
no more. His name needs not to be mentioned.
Yeah, I don't even want to say his name. He's like fucking Voldemort. Like,
he doesn't need any more publicity. He's the most famous fucking musician out of Jersey.
Yeah, and so like since this will be posted on Patreon, I'm probably gonna just put it up unedited, so it's gonna be like a hard start and like whatever. But I don't care because I love stuff like that. I love
man.
The just get on and go stuff. But
hit the ground running, bro.
Yeah, basically I was a guitar player's replacement, right? So I was the original guitar player's replacement, and right that
was the chain of events,
thou
right?
who shall not be named was replaced by Guy Luna, and then I replaced Guy Luna within an hour of him leaving.
Did you guys not have a? I have a recording that is on YouTube under either Thanatotic or Doc Watch Hollow's page of Darkness Descends with 3 guitar players.
It only happened one time.
I know, and I had the footage, like proof of it.
That's the very first Darkness Fest.
Was it not Guy? or was it
No,
Joe?
no, I
It was
replaced Guy,
Joe?
so it was
You and Guy never shared the stage.
never.
Gotcha.
No. In fact, it's funny because like Guy and I were really close friends, and I was friends with Angry Jay first, and then when we moved into the Streets Monthly Studio, it was me in the corner with my computer like this, and then Darkness Descends. And then just every once in a while, I would just like, I don't know, pick up a guitar and like jam with them when they were like playing songs. I would just like jam out.
Yeah,
and then
man.
one day, Guy Luna got into a fight with that band, and
Was it
I had
Canopy Veil?
already went home for the day. And like Guy called me up. He's like, "Yeah, fuck those guys. I fucking left that band. Fuck this shit." And I was like, "Hold on 1 second. Jay's calling me." and I was like, "I'll call you back, Guy." And then I hang up with him. And then Jay's like, "Yo, man, Guy just quit the band." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I just was on the phone with him." He's like, "Hey, so we got this show coming up. Can you fill in?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So I hang up the phone. I call up Guy back. I was like,
By
so
the
they
way,
just asked me to fill in." Since I already knew like half the material, like kind of sort of like loosely, like not really.
enough.
Right? Because I used to just like noodle over their shit. Yeah, and then go figure. And then I became a member of that band. And the band did the biggest things that it's ever done, putting me and Angry Jay together when he had all of his drive and all of his push, and me with all of my
power move for that
my
band,
push. Man. It was powerful. We just took over. And so that first Darkness Fest, what happened was I came into the band, but Joe Welsh and I did not get along. Their other guitar player who had been
I remember
there.
Joe. He's recently active again. I forget what band.
Yeah. Him and I did not get along for a couple of different reasons. Mainly like logistical stuff, where it's just like I look at things from up here, and everyone else looks at things like down here, right?
You're looking at big picture, and everyone's
I
ground
look
level.
at big picture. I look at big fucking picture. And anyone who wants to say that I haven't, look at all the fucking people of all the other bands that I've been in, and then look at the things that I've done.
Look at what Dean's done. You're very accomplished, and fucking, I've always appreciated your work ethic.
And listen, I don't always.
And I've been applying your work ethic as of late.
Oh, I have not. I've been depressed as all fuck, doing absolutely nothing.
Oh, I understand.
Oh, well, not absolutely.
I saw you in
nothing.
Ohio. That looked cool.
What?
You're back in Ohio with Nita.
I was for a day, and that show
only a day
got rained
thing, right?
out.
Yeah, it looked like you made the most of it, though.
I did. It was great to be. So I did that Demi Lovato gig. Got let go during pre-production as guitar tech. That wasn't great for my psychology.
Oh man, we spoke about that. I'm sorry.
I will tell you straight up, that's the hardest job I've ever had. Like, you can look at it as like I was hired as a guitar tech and stage manager, assistant stage manager, and I was super happy. Everyone on the crew was super nice, but what we all thought my responsibilities were going to be going into that, and then what my fucking responsibilities were, I just didn't have the experience on that level to do it like fucking flawlessly. You know, I was making dumb mistakes here and there, and it was straight up like there are those close to me who think that I purposely fucked up that gig or that my head wasn't in the game. They're wrong. I was 100% in the game, and I just had more shit on my plate than any of us knew to expect.
Dude, I can't imagine you doing any of that intentionally at all. I don't know who the fuck would even think that.
I'm not that guy. Like,
I don't even know who the fuck would think that.
Where I made $250,000 driving a truck and told that guy to go fuck himself because he wasn't treating me good. You know, that's me. If I'm not happy,
your worth.
I'm not there.
You know your worth, and you work fucking hard. So it's a matter of, something like that. When you were telling me, it's like, this is a different league, totally different league of everything.
Dude, even as I was getting let go, the production manager was telling me, he's like, you are definitely one of the hardest workers I've ever seen. And I still got let go. Like, what the fuck?
It'll come back around.
Yeah, I'm not
in some way, shape, or form.
I was totally bummed about it. But I chose to, as I was getting let go, I chose to look at all of the things that I accomplished. I chose not to revel too much in what I did wrong, because a lot of us creatives and musicians, right, we're perfectionists. So if we mess up on something, you know, I heard it in a movie, and I forget what movie I heard it in, but like this character, they're like musicians and artists, we feel things differently, and that's the only way I can describe it, and that's what it is. So like on the surface, when on my last day at the Demi Lovato gig, I was like cracking jokes. I was like, and one of the drum tech even said to me, he's like, "Oh, look at this guy. He's like cracking jokes, and he just got fired." And I was like, "Well, yeah, because what am I gonna do?
What else are you gonna do? You gonna sit there and fucking mope?
Yeah, am I gonna be an asshole? Am I gonna
It's not you.
quit? Like, am I gonna just leave? No, dude. I stayed around. I cracked jokes. I busted on myself, and I trained the new guy in all the things that I learned in the last 3 weeks. All the things that I built. All the things that I learned. I gave him fucking spreadsheets of guitar breakdowns, and
That's why you're a class act, man. Because like you know how to roll with the punches, man.
yeah, and like, dude, when the production manager was letting me go, he's like, "Well, what do you want to do?" I was like, "Well, if people are uncomfortable with me being around, I was like, I don't have to be here." But I was like, I'm fucking professional. So if it's better for me to be here tomorrow and walk this guy through everything and like give him the handoff, I'll do that. If people are uncomfortable with me being around there because I just got fired or whatever, like, so what? Then I'm like, I'll Zoom with the guy. I'll give him a phone call. I'm like, I'll do whatever you want. And he's like, well, what do you want to do? I was like, I'll be here tomorrow then. You know, like, because, dude, there's many things that I am, but one of those things that I am not is I am not unprofessional.
No,
you know,
that's never been you. You wouldn't be this far along if you were.
No, and like, listen,
reputation goes a long way, man.
And I can admit where I'm wrong. And that's a huge step. How do you get better at things? Well, first you have to admit that you suck at something, so that way you can focus on getting better at it.
You got mistakes, you got to fix them. The only way to fix them is to recognize them.
Yeah, and like, so it is what it is. But since then, I came home and I wrote like a really sick punk rock type vibe song.
You played me some of it, or you sent me some of it.
Yes, and then I did the complete opposite of that. I did, and I'll
feeling different things
just because I have it queued up here.
Right on.
Oh yeah. It's a nice bass in there. Little Pink Floyd bass.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna let it play for like another like 35-40 seconds, just so you can hear. I took Zach's drums from two different songs, just like I did with the other one.
Yeah.
And then ready? I got this like low-fi beat. But yeah, so
cool. Yeah, you're channeling it the right way, dude.
Yeah, like not heavy metal at all. Like,
oh man, dude, the song I'm about to release is the least metal thing I think I've ever done.
That's great. I love that. I love that shit. You know, like I'm a huge fan of just expressing yourself, right? And I love playing. Even when I was talking with Angry J, so I sent this thing that I had just played. I had sent that to Angry J the other day, and I go, listen, it's not. I don't have the metal flying out of me yet. You know, that punk rock song came because I was like prepped to like do some work with Darrow Chemical Company, and then
yeah. Seeing JV picking that up again.
Well, yeah, sort of, right?
Like,
I don't really know what's going on with that, right? Because initially, that demo that I had sent you, I had posted it on my Patreon. That was initially intended to be like a song idea for Darrow Chemical Company.
I could see that.
Yeah, and like, and maybe not all of it, right? But like some of
elements. Give it to Joe. See, tweak it, make it Darrow. But
and basically, my mindset was if like that track makes me want to like get a fucking speeding ticket, right? And I told someone, I was like, if Joe doesn't want to do a punk rock album with me after hearing that song, then he can go fuck himself. Like, I love Joe with all my heart, but if you fucking hear that and you don't like want to write an album with me, then it is what it is. You know,
no,
like
you
I love Joe Basta, but
Got to surround himself with the right team and everything. And, you know, I don't know where his head's at. He doesn't seem like he's in the best of places. I reached out a couple times, but he never got really back to me.
Yeah, he's a pain in the ass. He works some crazy job during the day from home where he's just like on the phone all the time.
You need something. That's good.
Yeah, it's some sort of like customer service type thing. I don't know exactly what it is, but he just has to stay like available at all times, and he is not the greatest at getting back to you currently, but he will eventually if you keep reaching out.
Sure.
I usually just send him like some snarky ass text, be like, dude, so do I have to like write you a letter to get a response? Because you know, like
I know, like we all know him well enough to know it's not intentional. He's just a scatterbrain.
yeah, I'm like, yeah, so yeah, exactly. He's just scatterbrained. So it's like, just send a text message that busts his balls enough for him to fucking call you. That's all you got to do, and then you get him.
Nice.
But yeah, so this other track that I was working on, this soft one, I just came up with like a loop. I was jamming here in my room, and I came up with a loop of some really cool chords. And then they are cool chords. It's my guitar's in a different key right now. I'm half step down, but the chords are, and then yeah, there, and they're like really beautiful chords. And I just made like a quick loop on my Fractal, and I recorded it into Pro Tools, like just the loop. And it wasn't a perfect loop. I didn't do the chords perfectly right, but I was like jamming over it for a while. And I was just like, you know what? Let me see if I can find, you know, like some drums somewhere in this session. And it was 120 beats per minute that I was playing. So I found one of the songs had drums that were 120 beats per minute. And there was a song, Don't Know What to Say, that I'd released a while back. It's not on the first album. It's a single I did after that. And I took the drums from that, EQ'd them a little bit differently, put some hella reverb on it. And Zach, dude, I was talking to Zach yesterday. He was listening to that while on the phone with me. He goes, these are my drums? He's like, dude, if you didn't tell me, he goes, I wouldn't know that these were the drums that I played.
Different sound, and you tweaked it enough.
It sounds different. I didn't do it I took his drum stem that already had all of its like EQs and works and all this other shit on there, and then I just put a compressor on it, put delay on it, and
just enough,
and a slight EQ where it just changed the sound of the snare drum a little bit,
just enough to change it up. That's all you need.
Yeah. And then those lo-fi drums that you hear that you heard, that was from my song Enjoy the Ride, which is like fucking... It's like, that's not the vibe that's going on in this at all. No, and I took those drums and I put a frequency shifter on it, a reverb on it, EQ, a vibraphaser, and a compressor. And that took, and just so you could hear... That took the drums of, here they are here.
This is the original one before you altered it?
Yeah.
All right.
So that's before I altered it. And then here it is altered. Hold on, stand by.
Holy shit. Okay.
And then all together.
Love it. Love it.
Doesn't sound anything like it.
Love it. Love it.
If you listen to the two back to back, you're like, oh yeah, there's that that groove.
You have to really compare it, but yeah, it's a groove. It could be any groove, but it's you tweaked it.
People don't realize that like, minus certain accents that follow guitar licks, most drums from any song can be replaced in any other song as long as it's the same BPM, because the drums aren't typically driving.
No. I love when these people are like studying all these mashup videos that people are doing on TikTok, and they're like, I can't believe how well it fits. And you're like, yo, every song is written exactly the same, like in that manner. Like, of course it's gonna fit.
Zach sent me this super crazy song that he tracked the other day. And it's a super crazy 8-string metal song. However, you can still, even though he's got all this crazy riffage and shit going on in it, you can equate that down to a 4-chord song and play it on an acoustic if you really want.
That's what they all break down, man. Everything breaks
like
down.
every song, every song has a lowest common denominator where you can just I don't care what your riff is, dude. In every riff, there's in every song,
doesn't matter.
In every riff, there's a bass note that you could just fucking play, you know? That's why Corey Taylor is able to play an acoustic version of Wait and Bleed at a CMFT show, you know? Like,
I've seen it.
He plays Spit It Out on a fucking acoustic because in the bass, everything is just a chord. So
that's how I write my bass lines, basically. What are we looking at? What's the root?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's like, oh, dude, that's a super crazy lick that you're like, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, oh, but you could just go like this underneath. Oh, okay. It's like
I'm in fucking C on this thing. You're half down?
Yeah, but whatever.
My acoustics in that.
Dude, all these guitars back here, I could grab whatever tuning I fucking want. I'm so bummed that I left Angry Jay's acoustic bass at my mom's house in Jersey.
Ooh. Wait, no, I think I'm back in A. Oh no, we're good. We're good.
You know about the original sound option in Zoom?
The original sound option in Zoom?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm very Zoom green.
Okay, so real quick, go to your top Zoom menu, and then go to preferences or settings or whatever it's called.
Hold on a second here. Let's see. Chat, persistent, mute, video. No, I don't have the top menu because I'm on a PC. Hold on. Found this before.
So real quick. Oh, I can't. It's gonna get rid of it here, but if I move this down,
I have view options.
You see how I have right here? I have Zoom, and then I can go to preferences.
Right.
So you should have some sort of thing like that where it brings up these settings.
Okay. Yeah, I can find that.
All right.
Where are you looking?
So then you go to audio. Click on audio. And then you scroll down, and it says music and professional audio.
Right.
And then you see this little box that says show in meeting option to enable original sound.
Mine is checked off.
All right. And then, all right, good. And then, so when you close
the only thing I don't have checked is stereo audio.
Yeah, I don't have that either. I'll explain that later. But so now in your upper left-hand corner of your screen, when you're on like where you can see me and you.
Oh, yeah. It says original sound off.
Yeah. Now, if you hit on, now it won't cut out your bass when you start playing.
Oh, was the bass cutting out before?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, now play. Yeah, see, now I hear it right away. Where usually Zoom tries to be smart, where if it hears noise in the background, it tries to eliminate it.
Cancellation or something.
Yeah. If you put it on stereo audio, when you turn on that original sound, your bass will go off to one speaker and your vocals will be on another. Weird. It's not bad, but I've turned that off because I just don't like, you know. But if someone has to hear both me talking without any issue and the guitar at the same time, if there is any issue, then I'll turn on the stereo so it separates it.
Ah, cool.
Yeah. Any of those who use Zoom. You just
must
got a little.
pay. You pay for your Zoom monthly, or you have a professional account? Yeah, because I was trying to I went to Finland recently with Whiplash.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about that.
Oh man, it's a snowball effect. So I'll start off with I had a week to learn everything they've ever written, basically.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy. So I pulled this up. I fucking made my nice little cheat sheet book, handwritten tabs and everything, and I gave myself like a B. There was 2 songs that I had 2 issues in, an issue in each song. So he flew in the day before we were supposed to leave. Tony, who now lives in North Carolina, we hashed it out, no problem. I'm playing it up here. He's playing it up here. Little things like that, but we figured it all out. And,
so you did a rehearsal with him in North Carolina first?
No, he flew from North Carolina to Watchung, stayed with me for a night, and we spent about 2 hours fucking around, and then went out drinking. Because I forgot how much of a partier that man can be.
Yeah, dude, I'm pretty sure I don't think I've ever met.
You've probably never seen. The only time you've seen Tony's at Dingbats back in the day, and
hammered.
That's him and my old guitarist used to get along. Very well.
I remember meeting Tony hammered. Always.
To
the point where I never knew if he remembered me.
Who knows?
You know, like I felt like every time I met that dude, it was like the first time meeting him, even though I'd met him like,
hey, how you doing, man? I'm Tony. Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I remember that the last 12 times we got shit-faced together.
Well, the worst thing Dingbats ever did was put that breathalyzer machine in there. That was the curse.
There's
remember
a breathalyzer
that?
machine there?
Ooh, boy. It was like you treated it like a video game.
Yeah.
I was going for high score. You put $1 in and it gives you
score.
You put $1 and it gives you a freaking straw, and then you blow into the machine. And from there, like, I remember Ben was like, he was very high on that scoreboard there. And then Tony blows, and it flashes red. And it's like, if you can still see this and read this, it's probably an error. If you believe yourself to be this intoxicated, please seek medical attention. Because he was and then it's like he starts listing out what he drank, and we're like, dude, that's probably pretty accurate, actually. Holy fuck, how is he walking? How's he getting out of here?
Professional.
Hey, he doesn't drink before he plays, and haven't shared the stage with him once. It was pretty cool.
So, all right, so he flew up to Jersey. You guys hung out for a few hours, went over the songs.
Yup.
How many songs did you have to learn?
12 songs.
All right, that's not that bad.
Not bad at all. 12 songs in a week. We only played 10 of them, I think. And then we flew to Finland, met up with a drummer who's from London, played one rehearsal with him Friday, went out drinking, then in Finland this time. Then played the show on Saturday. Everything went fucking great.
What was the show?
It was the Speed Metal Party in Tampere, Finland.
Was it like a festival?
It was considered a festival. It was basically a pretty big show, though. I wouldn't exactly call it a festival per se, but compared to like some of the other festivals we've been a part of and witnessed ourselves.
Like Darkness Fest?
Well, Darkness Fest had a lot more bands than this, I'll tell you that.
The first Darkness Fest had 14 bands or something.
It was stacked.
Yeah.
Where is it? Here we go.
7-minute changeovers.
Was it 7 minutes?
Yeah, we were pricks. Because we were able to do It's because we were able to do a 7-minute changeover on the Battle of the Bands for the Bamboozle contest festival. So we were like, listen, if we have all of this fucking gear and we're able to do a 7-minute changeover,
anybody could do it.
So the fuck are you?
That's one way to do it.
Yeah, and it's like, leave the drum set. If you want to bring a rack, drop your rack on top, Otherwise, use the house kit. Zach we used to get around that because he would put all of his toms on the rack.
Yeah.
So it was like we would somehow get the sound guy to allow us to put the rack. We're like, yeah, we'll just drop it on. It's like done. But then he still had to re-mic everything. So like whatever. But we beat that system.
Oh,
7-minute changeover.
We were all very efficient back in those days. Like we were all like top of our game, trying to be the most impressive musicians on everything. You guys were doing Bamboozle, fucking the Six Flags thing,
Possessed
tour. You guys were doing
Festival
so
was the
much.
Six Flags thing.
That's right. There was so much we were all doing. We were doing Mayhem. We were doing Summer Slaughter. We wanted to make sure that
I was there with you at Mayhem. You got me into Mayhem.
Yup.
Were you with me when we went to that after party at the end of the night?
I was at an after party at the end of the night.
The ICP after party that was...
Yeah, it was ICP, Whitechapel, Asley.
Whitechapel, that's what it was. It was Whitechapel's ICP after party. So, like, everyone
I got a picture of me and Alex from Whitechapel, and he's got, like, Juggalo face paint on.
Dude, I remember we rolled up to the gate. We rolled up to the gate, and they're like, do you have a pass? And I was like, somewhere. And I had like this giant fucking.
I was just telling somebody about the pass.
And I was like, I don't know, somewhere in here. He's like, the guy's like, all right, you can go in. You obviously. Meanwhile, I didn't have the fucking pass.
You had several other ones.
I had several other passes.
I was just talking to a buddy of mine about like sneaking backstage and trying to meet people when you're younger, and like, how do you do that? And like, I told him, like, one of the last times I went backstage, I didn't have a tag. I didn't have a laminate or anything. I literally just walked back there like my bass was back there. If you look like a musician and you look like you belong there, and it helps to have actually done shows where you have stuff backstage so you know what to do. If you look the part, you'll get the job.
Act like you belong. I remember I went to Hershey Park. So Darkness Descends played these few shows out in Pennsylvania with this band called Sandrotica.
I remember this.
And that's actually when I painted this guitar. And we went and we played these shows with them, and I left my backpack at one of the shows. So I had to drive 5 hours and then we came home. And then I had to drive 5 hours back to go get my backpack because I had all my shit in it. I had my notebooks, had my pics, all my personal shit. And it was like where I had to go was like 30 minutes from Hershey Park in Hershey, Pennsylvania. So I brought Jackie and James with me, and we went out to go get my backpack, and then we went to Hershey Park. Well, naturally, me being the dean you know and love, we go to Hershey Park, and I had my fucking gig bag with my guitar in it walking around a theme park. I still have my passes on the bag or on my hip or something. And Miley Cyrus was playing Hershey Park that day. So as I was walking into the park with Jackie and James, I had my fucking guitar in a gig bag. The security was waving me in.
Yeah. Sir, this way.
I'm not playing, but I'm just here with my family. But thanks, And it's one of those things where if you pretend, like what's that phrase, dude? We use it all the time. Fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it.
And it's if you belong, or if you act like you belong, then you do belong. Like that's the way that works.
There was this video shoot I did with Steve from formerly Julius Caesar, a couple other bands, Steve Toth, and his buddy was an elevator mechanic in Manhattan, and he wanted to shoot his video on one of these rooftops. The only way we had to get in there was through our guy, so it was like a rap video, so we didn't need much equipment.
Right.
We needed, a backpack or a toolbox with your stuff in it, right? So the guy gave us 2 shirts that had his company's name on it. And we just wore elevator mechanic shirts, walked right in, said nothing, walked right past security, into the elevator, up on the rooftop. Because we literally felt like we're wearing a disguise.
That's Angry Jay now, by the way. He's our elevator mechanic, our resident.
That's what you're doing now?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, he's in the union.
Good money.
What? Yeah, he's making good money. So, all right. So you get to Finland. You do one practice with the drummer.
Yup.
Go out drinking.
Worked out our issues. Played the show the next day. We basically had a sound check around like noon or 1. Crushed that, and then they went back to the hotel to sleep. I went back to sleep a little bit, but I'm young and restless, so I'm wandering around Finland trying to meet chicks and shit. and so mmany beautiful women. So many beautiful women.
I wouldn't know. I've never been.
Tony looks at me and he's like, "Oh, Will, I think there is a God. I just saw an angel." I'm like, "Tony, we're in Scandinavia, bro. They're all Valkyrie. Look how many there are. Look, another one. Oh my God, another one." He loved it, but he loved playing with me. He loved me. He's always, he's helped Thanatotic Desire before. He's taken us to Japan, taken us to the whiskey, taken us out a lot. I owe that man a lot for my personal and Thanatotic Desires career. But he liked it so much. So much. This is the first time I'm going to be public speaking about this because it hasn't been announced yet. He fired his bassist since 2010 to have me as their full-time bass player.
Nice.
I'm going back to Europe for a lot of shows, for about 15 shows in November through December.
Yeah.
First weekend of November, I go to London to play with the same drummer. We got a show with Razor in London on Saturday, the first Saturday in, actually it's the first Friday in November. Then the next day we're playing a Swedish festival, like the Abyss something or other, also with Razor, the next day in Sweden. Then
I know of a guitar tech who's recently available.
I should talk to some people, see if I can get that position available.
I know of one who was on this really good gig, but he just got let go, so
he's pretty well qualified.
Yeah, I mean, clearly.
I am just a bass player, but I will talk to who I got to talk to. Because the next thing, I got to pull it up myself because I don't want to miss.
I might have a tour in November that I can't talk about on here.
Oh.
But it's...
Yeah.
As of right now, no, right? As of right now, when Nita finishes the Demi tour, she's like done for the year. But there's like the smallest of chances of something possibly happening. And all you patrons, do not go and bring this up in her Patreon live stream and get me in trouble. Just keep this as
privileged information.
Privileged information that you take to the grave unless the tour gets booked.
That's how this works. I'm looking for the information. There it is.
Wow, so look at you. You're a fucking new bass player.
I got my for Whiplash,
legacy band.
Whiplash's bass player. So now, I don't know how well you can see this. Ring light go.
Oh, there you go.
MTV 2 Headbanger Ball Tour. Violence, Eccentrics, Whiplash, and Artillery. 13
That's
shows.
Phil Demmel.
Yes, it is.
I could text him right now.
Let him know your boy's going on tour with him in November. We're doing the MTV tour together. We got a nightliner, bro.
That's great.
I've never been on a nightliner. I mean, I've been on one, but not as... Oh, geez, I'm out of focus.
Yeah, I was going to tell you. There you go.
I've been on one, but not with my name on the itinerary. What's the fucking word? I don't know, man. I'm going to be on a tour bus this fall.
Good for you. Is that your first bus?
Yup.
Fuck yeah, dude.
You think Thanatotic Desire affords bus?
Well, yeah, but you've been to Japan and shit with them, so I wasn't sure if...
We've never been... Most of the time, Whiplash just does, like... They do few things, but big, great things, because they got that legacy status, man. And, like, I'm over there in Finland. There's this dude talking to Tony, like, with his 1985 pressing of Power and Pain. Oh, I saw you guys when I was 17.
I was one.
Never... Me too. I tell him that all the time. I'm like... And this guy's like, I never thought I'd ever see Whiplash again in concert. Thank you for coming back to Finland. Can you sign this? He has Tony sign it. Then the guy, like, hands it to me. I'm like, I look at Tony. Tony's like, bro, just sign it. They don't even know or care.
I learned that with Michael Graves, where...
Really? I'm like, I'm not in this. I was 1 year old.
I was constantly signing Misfits stuff. And Loki would look at these people and be like, you know that this isn't... That's not us, right?
No, it's not us.
And they're like, yeah, we know. And we're like, okay, as long as you know that that's not us, like, I'll sign where Jerry's supposed to sign, but I'm not
Whiplash,
Jerry only.
They're just like, you're the bassist I saw.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And like, and same deal with Nita though. Like, I never played on the albums, but I've played all the live shows. You know, Nita plays bass on the albums.
Okay, that tends to happen a lot,
dude. Listen, it's my long-term goal with that band to get on recordings.
Oh, for Nita.
Yeah, that's my long-term goal, is to get on recordings. If it never happens, it never happens. I wouldn't take offense to it, because especially once there's a record contract, plus they own their LLC, and all the divvying of royalties and this, and like, I get it. Because it's only bass. It's not like, I don't want to like downplay bass, bass player to bass player while I'm holding a guitar, but it's only bass, and
I understand.
Nobody really gives a shit about the bass line or lack thereof on a guitar shredder's solo album.
Most of the time, that's the
Most
case.
of the time, no one gives a shit. And even if they did give a shit, most of the time, it's not super prominent in the mix.
It's buried.
Unless you're like the first 4 Metallica albums or a Primus album, or maybe a Red Hot Chili Peppers album, shit's not usually bass driven. It's usually we're a supporting role.
Putting in my lunch order real quick.
So you play Finland, you get the gig.
I get the gig.
You sign albums that come out when you were 1.
It's pretty wicked.
Yeah.
Pretty wicked. So I mean, I did that as a fill-in, understanding Dank lost his passport. He'll figure it out, and I really don't know. Right. He did. He's gonna have it. It's just a matter of whatever Tony and the management decided to do is what they did. And I mean, I got the text like a week later saying, "Oh, hey, I need your availability for November and the whole dates." I knew what the dates were. I was very well aware that they're doing this MTV tour in Europe, all across fucking Europe in November. And I'm like, yeah, I'm available. I'm sure Dank will have his stuff ready by then. They're like, yeah, frankly, it might not matter. I'm like, oh, shit. What do I do? My guitarist, Jay, is in a band with Dank. So I'm thinking, oh, boy, what kind of bad blood there's going to be. So I reach out to Dank. We talk. He was in shock. But he's like, I got his blessing. I got his support. He said a lot of kind words about me being one of the hardest working guys in New Jersey. And I think he said hardest working yet unrecognized is what he said. And
is that a backhanded comment?
Well, I mean, no, it's not. Thanatonic Desire hasn't done the biggest things. I think we deserve to be in a higher place. Of course, I'm biased with that opinion, but this is a big move, and I like seeing guys like you, guys like Tarantino, guys like my other bandmates who are all doing big things personally, retrospectively. It might not be the band that we all knew you from, but we're all doing big things as musicians ourselves, and that can only translate all across the board.
That's great, though. Congratulations. Am I the first to congratulate you?
My bandmates know, my girlfriends know.
So I'm the first. Girlfriends.
Yeah.
Plural.
I'm honest. They know.
I thought it was bros before hoes, but whatever. It's fine.
I mean, that's why I was going to text you a million things, and I said, no. Let me set some time with Dean, because we like to talk. We like to catch up. We don't going to say a couple small talk, few words. Oh, cool, nice to see you. No, dude, we go deep.
So I really want to get into this, too. And so to explain to some of these people, one of the reasons why I'm so happy to have you back on here is all right. Let's shoot back to like 2010. We kind of touched on it a little bit when I joined Darkness Descends.
Yeah.
I joined Darkness Descends. I didn't know you yet.
No, I knew Darkness Descends. Darkness Descends was one of the first bands to befriend my band Thanatonic Desire.
So I played a show. What was the name of that place where mine and yours first picture where we
which one?
It was somewhere in Butler, right? It was at Canal Street.
Oh, that doesn't exist anymore, whatever it was.
Right. So all right. So there was like a storefront, like a place that should have sold fucking shoes.
I remember that show very specifically now.
I think it was called
We weaseled our way on that show specifically because my drummer's biological mother came to town for the first time ever.
So it was NJ Dots.
Yup. Doomsday, you, us.
Did Doomsday play?
You know what? I got to be honest with you. If they didn't play, they were all there.
They were all there. They may have played.
I want to say they played.
So that night.
Oh shit! Yeah, they might not have even played.
They might not have even played. They might have just been there.
Happens a lot to all of us.
It was my very first full show with Darkness Descends. I had played half a show with them to fill in. I played like four songs out of the 8 songs because, like, at the show where I filled in for Guy Luna, they pulled me up for a couple songs, and they pulled their old drummer up for a few songs where Zach sat out and Ryan came up, and it was kind of like this like rotating cast at the first show that I played. And basically, what happened is I had to learn like 8 songs, and I knew 6 of them really well, and there was 2 that I didn't know. And that was the 2 that Ryan played. Like, Zach didn't even know those songs. They were like super old. And Jay was like, listen, we'll just have you come up for the first half of the set and then step off and then have Ryan come up and then we'll finish the set with him. That way I didn't have to like come off the stage for 2 songs and come back on. Like, it was just simpler, right? I just went up, played a couple songs. I do, and I want to say that it was called Canal Street or something like that.
Canal Street.
That venue. It was something with a C like that. So anyway, there was this
Canvas
storefront.
Clash.
What?
Canvas Clash.
No.
Wait, why did that? Just
no,
pop
that
into my
one's
head?
that's that or the Clash Bar.
The Clash is something different.
Yeah.
I know
maybe
that.
maybe it was Canvas Clash.
I want to say
it was something with the C, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, so Darkness
that
Descends
definitely
plays,
isn't around anymore.
Thanatotic Desire plays. All the guys from the Doomsday Prophecy were there. I had just recently gotten to. I had just maybe I had played 1 or 2 shows.
It was the Canvas Clash, 613 Main Street, Booton.
Okay. See, yeah. And so, right, that's why it was confusing because there was another place in Clifton called the Clash Bar.
Yeah.
That I had played with other bands.
Yep.
So I remember very specifically that night, me, you, and Joe Vasta became like inseparable.
Besties. We became best friends with that show.
Yeah, we became best friends. You and I like. Oh, the other arm. You and I had the Baphomet, so we like started talking about that. And I remember very specifically, Joe came up to me that night and goes, dude, I've seen Darkness Descends before, but I've never seen them with you. And all I have to say is good fucking job.
Yeah, now the band.
And
I agree,
and
man. That was
in
a
mind,
turning point for the band.
That was a turning point for me because I had seen 700 Michael Graves shows with Joe Vasta playing bass.
I forgot how much you were like you were a big fanboy.
I was a huge fanboy of the Misfits and Michael Graves, and but I never really knew Joe or Loki. I had been at Connections. I had been in the bathroom like taking a piss a bunch of times before the Michael Graves set, and like Joe and Loki were in there like wetting their hair and doing all this other stuff, and I was like, yeah, a little fangirling about it. And then so to get that compliment from him, but like that day, me, you, and Joe Vasta, he had the Doomsday Prophecy, you had Thanatotic Desire, and I had Darkness Descends.
That was the power trio of Jersey for a long time.
For a long time. So to explain to everybody, me, Will, and Joe were fucking inseparable. When there was something going down,
it didn't matter which band it was.
If the 3 of us were there, that party or show or whatever went from here to like fucking here.
Automatic. Like, just the sheer presence of us. And
just the sheer presence of the 3 of us fucking hanging out, having a good time. It was always like the 3 of us and then like a crowd of people around us wherever we fucking went, man.
Dude, we all did big things, man. And like, that's why.
And so you became friends with Jose Mengen.
Yup. And I paid it forward.
Your band, and he was going to bring Thanatotic Desire onto Sirius, but your band wasn't around. And so you're like.
I made a better decision.
Hey, Dean and Joe, do you guys want to come with me? And we're like, well, fuck yeah, we do. And dude, that was like the best day going into Sirius that day because I'm pretty sure I've told you this story before, but I don't know if I've ever said it on Patreon.
You're the one who got the car lock. Was that you? That was
So
All right, now, let's
we
talk about the
parked-
beginning of the night.
Yeah, the beginning of the day. This was
shit.
daytime.
It was broad daylight.
Broad fucking daylight. So I drive into Hoboken. We met you in Hoboken, right? And then we took the path over, or did we meet you in the city?
Anything's possible. I think you met me in Hoboken.
So I know that Joe and I rode in, and I parked in like residential parking because I didn't know a damn thing about it, right? And we had to we drove to Hoboken so we could take the PATH train over to the city. I'm pretty sure we met you in Hoboken. So I park my car. I go to get out of my car, and I didn't check the mirror. Now I parked on this like fucking one-way road or whatever on the right-hand side. So I open my fucking door, and some dude, and I was on a hill. Some dude was flying down the fucking hill. Had to be minimum 30 or 40 miles an hour on a mountain bike. I open the door. The dude rides into my door, fucking tumbles end over end over end on his fucking bicycle. And Joe Vasta's just in my passenger seat, like, straight up like this.
I mean, what the fuck?
We didn't even get to the city yet. It was like 10 o'clock in the morning. Right?
That guy should have had a job. What's he doing riding his bike on the road?
He's like, oh God. What the fuck just happened? Right? This dude on the bicycle gets up, looks at me, and apologizes, and then walks away with this broken ass bike, fucking bent rim and everything, like hobbling. I felt so bad.
Oh my God.
And then then we go into the city. We go on Sirius Satellite Radio. I was so stoked because like it was the first time that I got like credentials to go to a radio station ever in my life.
Oh yeah, that was really insane, man. We all did college radio, but that was like there was a clearance. Our name had to go on a security thing.
You had to go up this huge ass elevator, you know, not like just a 1-floor elevator like WSOU or nothing.
43rd floor or something. 63rd floor.
And so then. So then we do Sirius Satellite Radio. We're like, when you get out of the elevator at Sirius, the Howard Stern Show room is right there.
There on the right. There's
right there on the right. I remember we saw Martha Stewart.
Yeah, we did.
It was post jail Martha Stewart. While we walked around, we have a picture of me, you, your fucking brother who looks like your fucking twin, Joe Vasta. And Jim Brewer
of all people,
and then and Jose Mangan, and there's a picture of like the 5 of us or whatever. I love that photo.
Yeah, me too, man. I've been meaning like I got a house. Me and my brother bought a house in 2019, so like I have next to no decor. You know, like my high school room had decor. My house, I got a couple of tour things here and there, but like things like that photo. I want that blown up, man. That was a proud moment of my musical career.
Dude, that was the biggest thing that I had done to date, right? And then so the 3 of us go in, we do our interview with Jose. It was supposed to be just your band.
Yeah, but we ended up playing all 3.
And then he played one track from each band. And you know, for a minute we got some Sirius Satellite Radio traction thanks to you. And
that's
that
what
was
it's about, paying it forward, man.
And I remember Mace sending screenshots to us of "Kill the Body and the Head Will Die," like screenshot being played on Sirius, and I was like, "What in the fuck is happening right now?" Right? Like that, dude. That's a huge accomplishment. That's not just terrestrial radio.
Oh,
it's fucking globally. Like
they were playing Final Breath by ours, and that did so much for my band. I can't thank them enough for that kind of airplay, man. There are label bands who don't get airplay on those airwaves. Major label bands.
Oh, was it?
Ooh.
And then yeah, and so the Doomsday Prophecy. They played that song. Is that So Easily Raped?
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, and and then the three of us became like fucking basically inseparable from shit like that, right?
Those were the days, man. For a
Dude,
few
so
years
then-
we were raining like that, man.
Then we go back to my car in Hoboken after this fucking, we're on cloud nine. Like this thing was, it was a crazy experience, from almost killing the guy on the bicycle to fucking then going into the city, doing all this stuff, right? Felt fucking great. Felt accomplished. We did all the things.
I had a date that night who I was going to see Megadeth with, and she was waiting at my house for like an hour.
So then Joe and I get back to my car.
This is why I was late.
And Joe and I get back to my car, and on the passenger side, there was a boot on my fucking car because I parked in residential parking. It wasn't just like a parking ticket, it was a boot.
A whole ass
And
boot.
I called up, and it was like $400 to get the boot off.
Fuck it. Are you kidding me?
Dude, it was like $400.
I remember it as expensive, but
Dude,
that's
it was so much money that I didn't have the money. I had to call my mom
like
to have
10
my
years
mom
ago,
pay
too.
it. What?
It was like 10 years ago, too. Like,
Yeah, dude.
2010, $400.
Yeah, that's like 2010, 2011, something like that, right? No, it was 2013 because Kill the Body was out. So 2013, and my mom pays for the boot. Then I have to bring the boot to a spot in Hoboken. You have to drop it off. So you get like, after you pay, you get like this little number, and then you have to punch into like this 4-digit code.
It was like a telephone keypad, right?
Yeah, like a telephone keypad. I go to drop it off. As I get to the location, GPS tells me where I'm at. As I get to the location, I go to just open my door again, except this time, last second, right before, while my hand's on the handle, I look in my rear view mirror, or my side view mirror, and I see this brick shit house, dude. Like the Incredible Hulk riding a fucking motorcycle.
You would have taken the door with him.
I was riding a bicycle, rather. If I had opened the door and done the same thing to him, this dude was so big he would have taken the door off, and I would have had my ass kicked. So it was like, you better learn, and you better learn quick, right? And I'll never forget that dude, how fucking huge he was. Dude, he was riding his bicycle like this. Like,
it's the biggest guy in New York.
Biggest guy you've ever seen in your life riding a mountain bike. Almost killed him. Almost killed him. Almost lost my door. Almost lost my teeth. Drop this thing off and go back. That dude, like, that's some of the crazy shit revolved around one of the biggest moments of my life. There was absolute tragedy before and after, you know, like, but still absolutely fucking amazing.
I always feel like whenever these big things happen in a musical career, something has to balance it out. And I'm not hearing anything.
Oh, fuck. I don't remember where that was played. But anyway, so yeah, and then moments like that continued on. It didn't matter if it was a Halloween party. It didn't matter if it was a New Year's Eve party. It didn't matter if it was a show. It didn't matter if it was a festival that this band was doing, that band was doing, your band, my band, Joe's band, whatever. The three of us were completely fucking inseparable.
It was a good time, man.
Yeah, those are great, great times. And then there was other people involved in that grouping, but if I could call the three of us the core grouping, that it would be appropriate. You know, everyone else just circled around us. And
here we go. No, that's the wrong song.
Is it?
It wasn't So Easily Erased. It must have been Save a Little Face.
Yeah, Save a Little Face. Save a little face.
That was it, man. We wanted to cover this so bad, and Joe was like, nobody plays Doomsday but Doomsday.
Yeah, so
like, dude.
And
I remember like Mace did it at a sound check once, and we got nothing but like Evil eyes. I was like, all right.
So, yeah, so on that subject, so Darrow Chemical Company goes on their first tour in 2014, and we do the second Darkness Fest, where Thanatotic Desire is going to be on.
Yep.
And Darrow Chemical Company is on tour, Joe, Loki, and Doug, just the three of them. In Doug's,
That's right. That's when this started.
Right. And so they were on tour. They were on this tour that was just falling apart left and right. Like the band that they were touring with in like the middle of New Mexico decapitated a spirit horse that was walking across the road, and all this tragedy was going on. And in that interim, you and I are like, hey, since Doomsday can't be here, why don't we have a couple of us come up on stage?
It would have been like an all-star thing, and Brian was around. He was going to do vocals. So it's like...
Yeah, Brian Kellner, their singer, was still around, so we were going to have him sing. Brian Sam Martin was still there around, so he was going to play guitar. I was going to play guitar. Zach would play drums, or Jake could have even played drums, and you were going to play bass. And we were going to play just that one song at Darkness Fest. And Joe was like, no, nobody plays Doomsday can play Doomsday.
Like, well, you got two guys who are kind of in two guys from Doomsday who could
and your two best friends, you prick. Like, what the fuck?
No.
Yeah, and
that would have been a great representation, though.
Yeah,
but, hey,
yeah, it would have been done right. So yeah, so Joe said no, so we never did it. And you know what's funny is a lot of people think that I was in the Doomsday Prophecy. And I'm like, no, I was in.
I think all our names were just interchanged back.
Yeah, well, because Doomsday and Darkness, we played tons.
You guys shared a lot of stages
of shows together. Tons. And I wasn't in Doomsday, I was in Darrow, which is two of the guys, the bass player and the guitar player, who sang and played guitar for a punk band that I played in. So it's like, yeah, I wasn't in that band, but like I was in all the other bands around it, you know? And yeah, dude, and then that kind of all stopped as I joined Darrow and we started touring. A couple members' lives were changing, and then we all kind of slowly just stopped going around and coming around as much. But every once in a while, when we get back together, like I had that break right before or after it was right after the Zakk Wylde tour, the Black Label Society tour.
When we saw each other at Ox's.
Oh, we saw each other at Ox's? And then at that Dingbat show with Zach playing drums and all those other bands.
Was JV there?
He was not. I couldn't get him to come out.
No. It was almost family. It was
almost a thing.
That night felt like an old night with just everybody else there. Tarantino was there. Zach was there. Tarantino's giving you PTSD with his cell phone ringing.
Dude. I heard his phone ring and I was like...
Yeah.
Like, so to fill that people in on that, yeah. That's what it was. On the very first Nita Strauss tour that I ever did.
You're in earshot. I just got to reach for something. Not a reach.
All right. On the very first Nita Strauss tour that I did, Jay Tarantino had his Android phone. And now a rule for being on tour is when you're in an enclosed living space, when you're in an enclosed living space,
respect the living space.
Yeah, when you're in an enclosed living space with other people, and you'll find this out on your bus tour.
I found
the commonplace moral thing is to keep your fucking phone on silent. When you're in common areas, you don't watch Instagram. Fucking stab you. And when you're in the front lounge or the back lounge of the bus or backstage or wherever, when you're in like your common area, you keep your phone on fucking silent. Like that's just the rule. Like some people will be like, "Oh, well, I have to hear my
Stick your phone up your ass, you'll feel it."
Yeah, I have to hear my text messages, don't I? And it's like, yeah, just look at your fucking phone.
Just be neurotic like the rest of us and look at your phone every 30 seconds.
Yeah, and now constantly I don't answer phone calls on show day, even from the tour manager. Constantly. Because
you're busy.
I'm no more than 40 feet from you. Like, if we're being honest, most of the time, I'm no more than 40 feet from you. Even though I might not be next to you or you might not see me, I'm fucking somewhere right there. Like, you can find me. You know? And so most information I find out that way. But dude, I have more missed phone calls from Nita Strauss than I think anyone else on the fucking planet because my phone's always on silent, you know? And it's I'm doing something, and like that's actually as much of a bad quality as it is, it's also a great quality. So, Jay Tarantino throughout this whole tour, his phone goes off. It's the only one that goes off. No one says anything. The last week of the tour, me, Jay Tarantino, Anthony Barone, and Josh, we're all hanging out in the front lounge. And Anthony Barone, who did he just play for? All That Remains. He just filled in for drums on All That Remains. Nice. He's in another band. I guess I can say here because no one will know, and you just can't post it. But he also plays drums for Baby Metal. Yeah, he's sick drummer. So we get to like the last week of this hell tour. This tour where 6 out of the 11 people that were on the bus had been fired and replaced. No band members were fired and replaced in any of the bands, but all the people surrounding, drivers, tour managers, content people, guitar techs. We had 3 guitar techs on that tour. You know what I mean? Like, or 2 guitar techs, 3 different tour managers.
Side note: is this the one Joe Koza was involved in?
No. This was this was.
I have been in touch with him, by the way, as per your instructions.
Great.
Sorry to
no, awesome.
There, but yeah.
So we get into like the last week of this tour, and all of a sudden Jay's phone goes off, and Anthony Barone just looks at him and goes, "So did your phone like not have silent mode, or?" And we just fucking lost it. We just dude, we all lost it. It was like, I don't know if everyone was stir crazy or if everyone was just thinking the same fucking thing and not saying it.
They all felt that and nobody wanted to bring it up.
Yeah, and then from that moment on, we established this like flamethrower mentality where it was like anytime someone did something, someone would call them out. And we would only do it on like the last week of tour. It's kind of like that way to like release some of that shit, right?
You want to bust balls,
just
you want to
get
talk
it out,
shit,
make fun, have fun with it, right? Unfortunately, this has been adopted by the Nita Strauss band as well.
It's like the status quo now.
For the flamethrower, like the last week of tour. However, on this Winter Wasteland tour, we had one tour that was like 6 weeks or whatever in November, December, and 6 to 8 weeks, something like that. So we put the flamethrower in on the last week of the tour, right? Where you just start busting everyone's balls, and anytime someone gets a good burn, you're just like, right? Flamethrower. That's what we call it. Just burning people left and right.
I love the inside jokes.
Yeah, and then, but the Winter Wasteland tour then got a second leg, then got a third leg. Was that my fucking phone? Did I really just do that? Did I really just do that? But anyway.
Shit talking.
But notice I put it on silent mode right away. Anyway.
So yeah, it sounds like the last like week turned into like what, a whole nother month of fun.
Well, then we did 2 more legs of tours. There was only like 2 weeks in between.
Flamethrower's on. You can't turn the flamethrower off.
So we never got like the full reset. Right? So like we established this flamethrower thing on the Guitar Collective. Then we do another tour in 2019. That was December 2018. Then we do another tour in 2019. Same deal. Mostly everything is great. We get to like the last week and then we just start burning each other, you know, to get rid of it. But now fast forward to 2021 and we have no reset period from the first leg to the second. So we had 2 weeks off. Mode. So we come back in January, and it was like flamethrower the whole tour. And then we come back in March, and then it's like flamethrower the whole tour. Because we're still in that mode, right? Yeah, and we never got like the 4 months of not seeing each other. So it's like, you know, And then we get the Black Label tour, and it's like flamethrower the whole tour. We had like no reset.
Nothing.
Nothing, right? So, and then it's just become, and so eventually that became we had 2 green rooms. We have Nita's green room with Nita, Kat, and whatever other girls are on the tour tend to hang out over there. They call that the Zen room because it's fucking quiet and it's fucking calm.
No bullshit.
And then we call mine and Josh's area the Lion's Den. And it's like, dude, it's loud music. And keep in mind, no one like drinks or any, like some people drink on our tours, but no one drinks before we play. So this is all sober ball busting.
That's great. No, it's fine.
And it's fucking vicious, dude. It can get vicious. And so
you have a little more wit to you, you know? So
yeah, and now Johnny has filled in that fucking Jay Tarantino role because he never has his fucking phone on silent mode. Motherfucker is FaceTiming his girlfriend from the bunk in Bunk Alley.
On speakerphone.
He's fucking in the front lounge. Yeah, on speakerphone. In the front lounge, watching Instagram reels and shit.
Stories loud.
And stories loud as fuck. He plays a guitar. Instead of just playing a guitar unplugged, right? He hooks up to these like little fucking amps that he got us. And like there's even a video of Mark Rizzo on tour with us being like, so it's like, does that thing like have a headphone jack or like like asking, like pretending like he's asking questions, but really busting like, Johnny's balls, and he's not like getting it, right? And then like Mark would be like, so how loud does this thing go? You know, like, and then he'd be like, oh yeah, it goes up loud, and then he's just like, blah, 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 blah. It's like, you're not getting it. You're not getting it. you are not understanding what's going on here. He's trying to. Mark Rizzo plays guitar all day long. Yeah. You never fucking hear it. No. You don't hear it.
Unless he wants you to.
Yeah, unless he plugs into his amp and he wants you to, right?
I saw him at Zach's studio just the other week.
Oh yeah, because he's now working with Real One.
Yeah, man. Quite some stuff.
I got real quiet. I got real quiet real quick on that somehow. But yeah, so yeah, and it's just there's this thing, right? And this camaraderie builds up over years, and that's one of the things that, even though I got let go from that Demi Lovato gig, which for all intents and purposes could have instilled some negative feelings throughout our camp. It could have, right? If I had looked at the production manager and was like, fuck you, or like if I chose to hold resentment, you know, towards Nita, and if I chose to like hold resentment, and granted she had nothing to do with the call that got me let go, but I could have, depending on how I acted, it could have, you know, put this animosity in our camp.
No, absolutely.
But it didn't. It didn't, because
you
like,
handle yourself like a professional. If you handle yourself like a brat, you wouldn't.
I made the fucking I clearly suck at guitar teching jokes throughout that whole weekend in Chicago, like getting people to laugh at. I was like, well, I know who won't be the fucking guitar tech. You know, like, or, you know, or all those things.
What you gonna do? Be a bitch about it?
Exactly.
You know where it is. They made the decision. Bow out gracefully, bro.
Yeah, dude. Like, it is what it is. I get it. I'm not gonna. So Josh did bust my balls about it while we were in Chicago, right? And I looked at it, like, dude, I didn't like pre-think this. I had pre-written all these jokes and responses to things that Josh would say to me, and they were all like fucking kidney stabbers too. But when he was busting my balls while we were on like sound check, I look at him, I go, dude, even Babe Ruth used to strike out, pal. Like, it is what it is. I never claimed to be the best at everything. I just claimed to work really hard.
Yeah, man.
You know? And And Josh goes, I think Babe Ruth struck out a lot. I go, yeah, he probably did because he was fucking hammered all of the time.
You
know,
like a small guy either.
Yeah, he wasn't a tiny guy. Like that dude was like killing like fucking 30 packs back in the 30s, right?
30 packs in the 30s.
30 packs in the 30s. But like, it couldn't get much more New York than that. Yeah, he was drinking 30 packs in the 30s. In the dirty 30s, or dirty Jersey. You know, he's drinking the dirty 30s. Hey, But yeah, and so it's all about how you choose to deal with it. Like I had said about the Demi Lovato gig, I could have sat there and been like, oh, all these things I did wrong. Or I could be like, I learned a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah,
I may
I know
not
you're
have
gonna
knocked
take
it out of the
from it.
park, but I went up to bat, you know? I may have struck out, and I may not have hit a home run on this one, but I still went up to bat, even though I was fucking nervous about it, right? And it is what it is. Like, I prepared myself as much as I could for that moment, but there was things in there, in that level, that I have just never...
It's a different league, like you said.
Yeah, I've just never done before. And so, you know, it is what it is. Why does your thing say Frank G. Thrash, by the way?
I'm trying to get, that is, let's say, wait, ready?
Is that someone who liked one of your last videos?
Yeah. It was
Or followed
my
you?
most recent follower. I can get rid of that by doing, nope, hold on. This, nope. This, nope. That, nope.
I like your little
no.
DR Strings logo. It's nice.
Yeah, it's about to get a little more padded up here. I might have to shrink them and just put them along the side here because I got pig hog cables now also.
Where are
an
we?
Ernie ball?
I got my Ernie balls stacked up right here.
Nice.
4 boxes of fucking Ernie ball, super long scale, 5-string bass strings. I have DRs on this bass right here.
I love my DRs.
Man, I've never had so many bases be tangled before. Oh, look at that.
Got my high beams, my drop tunes, my black beauties.
This has Black Beauties on it that I got from JD when we played with Black Label.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Ernie Ball had sent my strings, but they didn't tell me where they sent them. So we played this like one venue, and they were there, and I never got them from the staff. And then they wound up mailing them to me afterwards. Dude, there's just a pile of guitars here. This is a 7-guitar.
Got some guitar strings too.
Oh yeah, look at you.
Some dime bags, some drop tunes. I'm gonna string up my old Squire Strat.
Dude, this is a 5-guitar, or this is a 6-guitar bow right here. Oh, I love that.
I put the black pickguard on it. It's a Squire.
Yeah, who gives a shit?
Yeah, exactly.
You can buy a cheap Mexican Fender neck and throw it on there.
I could. No,
Yeah.
I've been meaning to restring this for some fun stuff. I did a ringtone for a friend of mine, just like a 10-second thing with some crunch and some keys. But
so this 6-guitar boat right here has 10 guitars in it. It's supposed to hold 6, but there's just fucking guitars just piled in it.
She's got it piled up. I need most of the guitar stuff will fit under my shelf here, but my basses are too fucking long. So
right here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guitars in just this half of the fucking cake stand. Never mind all the others, and plus this sits there too.
I got 4 on the wall, 3 on the ground. And with all the basses, I only play the acoustic. I don't always play the acoustic. I'm playing more into this setup with my DAW and stuff, so I'm not always using the acoustic. But I like practicing on the acoustic. It's like finger strengthening and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not bad. So, you're going on tour, huh?
Yeah, baby.
That's fucking great, dude.
I'm excited. And now my other guitarists in Thanatotic, Mace and Jay, they just got home from tour also, respectively, with Generation Kill.
Mace is playing in Generation Kill?
He's been a temporary fill-in that is most likely going to be turning into a permanent position. It started with a fill-in gig for Metal Fest last year. And again, everybody, they liked his energy, they liked what he did, so their other guitarist is down in Florida taking care of their sick mother and can't be part of any of the shows or the album or anything, so he's just Mace is filling the shoes for the time being, since Jay, they were going to like hire somebody, and Jay said, don't bother with that kind of money for a high profile guy. We can get Mace. He's really good, trust me. And it's working out for them. They were just on tour with Dead by Wednesday, and we became friends with the singer of that band, Christian.
The drummer of that band is Chad, right?
I thought it was Christian. Christian's a drummer. I haven't met the guys. I wasn't on
Oh wait,
tour
no,
with them.
Chad. Yeah, maybe it's Christian.
I
I met them years ago with Rachel when they came through Dingbats.
Oh wow, yeah. Esteban is the singer. And Esteban's got another band called Condition Zero that's a little heavier than Dead by Wednesday. Condition Zero, they could do stuff with Thanatotic Desire. So we've already been talking to them about partnering up and doing some shows, maybe a couple weekend runs together. And then if Whiplash ever plays in America, even before I was in the band, I was able to get us to open for them. So I'm just next to certain that if they do any sort of touring or high-profile stuff here, Thanatotic will be a part of that as well. So it's nice to kind of piggyback off our other jobs and bring those resources
Their
back
Wikipedia
home.
for members of Dead by Wednesday, it says Christian Lawrence.
It is Christian. Okay, yeah, Christian.
That's it.
Drummer. That's it for nothing for anything else on the band.
Wikipedia just says members Christian Lawrence.
No, maybe he's the only original, or I don't know. Wikipedia is strange. I might get on there with Whiplash.
Yeah, I remember these guys.
I like the guys a lot. All the guys I've talked, because I'm in group chats with them. If I met them, I don't recall them. But Mace is telling me and Esteban to be really close.
The dude with the mohawk, he's the drummer, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's I guess that's Christian. Yeah, that's the guy I know.
Okay.
I knew it was something. That's right. Chad, it's because I met them at the same time that I met Faster Pussycat. Faster Pussycat's drummer is Chad, and he's Christian.
It's so easy to get these guys' names confused. I feel like such a dick, but I think
Dude,
we're
when
all
you
on
meet
that
people
same
once or
page.
twice, man, you can't fucking.
No, I think we're all on the same page too. Because like when I was in Finland trying to meet people, not even trying to meet people, just trying to like connect. Like, hey, listen, man, it was nice hanging and drinking with you. Let's connect on Instagram or Facebook or something. Because man, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna remember your name. It's been a fun night, and I want to make sure we connect down the road. And they're like, oh, I don't remember anything. Thank you for Facebook. So everybody's on that same page. Can't tell you how many times I'm like opening for a band. And I'm like, who are they?
Will.
Oh, that's the singer?
What did you do to get your name out there when you went to Finland? Now's the time for scolding. If you're going to show me a business card, if you're going to show me a business card right now, you better start doing push-ups.
Oh, fuck me. Well, it's more than just business cards. There's the business cards with QR codes on the back.
Oh, yeah, great. So useless business cards. Cool.
No. Got followers. I left my fucking name, presents, and cards and stickers.
Cool. That's good. So, again, like, when you go and get a gig like that, right? I was actually just having this great talk with Zach yesterday. So, Zach was working with this band. I don't want to say the name, but he was working with this band playing guitar, and he got...
I know all about this story.
Yeah, he got kind of the raw end of the deal.
I agree.
Focus yourself real quick, because you're moving. There you go. So he's working with this band, and he got the raw end of the deal. And he was like, well, like, what should I do? Right? And I given him my advice on what I think he should do as far as like the legal ramifications go.
I told him he should release the music before them.
Well, so I told him he could do the Megadeth thing, and he could. It doesn't matter if they release the songs, right? He wrote the riffs. He has the proof of it because all of the pre-production is on his computer.
Exactly. That's what that kind of same thing I was telling him. Like, just
you
wrote
can,
it,
dude. He
put
could
it out before them.
Yeah, if it ever came out, like came to brass tacks, he could prove.
He's got a case.
Yeah, he could prove just by the metadata on the files that he owns a lot of those riffs, and some of those songs were song ideas that he had back during the Darkness days.
No, I heard some of it, man. Because like I said, I was at the studio. He was venting about that. He was playing some of the new other stuff he's working on with Alex and some of the stuff. There's so much other stuff going on in that studio. It's impressive. But yeah, man, you can't get discouraged. He was. I've never seen him like that.
Dude, he called me up last night, yesterday rather, and he's like, "Bro," and he called me early in the morning. And anyone who knows Zach knows that he doesn't usually do that. Like, he doesn't. You don't get a phone call from Zach at 10 in the morning. Like, that's not a thing that happens. But he calls me up. He's like, "Dude, I'm losing sleep." I was like, "Well, don't do that." Like, don't fucking lose sleep over this shit. So we got talking, and then he was like, he's like, "What should I do?" You know, and I started telling him, and I was like, "Listen, the number one thing that I think you should do." He's like, "Well, maybe I should just release this, you know, these songs myself." And I go, yes, you should. Like, we were talking about it, very similar probably to the conversation you were having with him. And I've been giving them the same advice throughout this entire last few weeks of all this shit going down.
Yeah.
And I was like, "But Zach," I was like, "why did I call my band Dean?" He's like, "I don't know, because it's your last name." I was like, "Well, yeah, kind of, sort of.
It's your moniker.
But it's the name that I've played under in Darrow Chemical Company, in Children of October, in, you know, when I was teching for Doomsday, when I was working for Prong, when I was playing for Alex, when I was,
Everybody knows you as
everything I did, it was Dean from Darkness Descends, Dean from Darrow Chemical Company, Dean from Alex, Dean from Children of October, Dean from this, Dean from Black Cat Attack, like, right? So I was like, when I was going to do all my own songs, initially I was going to call my band Minor. That's why I have this.
I remember that. You had
and
artwork,
it was going to be me
that
and
going.
Angry Jay. It was going to be the two of us. Even though the song The Minor was basically written as a fuck you to Angry Jay. It was one of the times when I left Darkness Descends, the song The Minor is me straight up talking to the members of Darkness Descends and going, "You're not going to do shit without me." That's what that song means. In case anyone was wondering, that is a fuck you to my best friends. Like, and they know it. They know it. Angry Jay has always known that song was me telling my best friend, "Go fuck yourself. You're not going to do shit without me." And I'm sorry, but that's not that fucking far off from what really happened. But I love these people, right? Like, again, music is a way for us to get out our expressions and get out our feelings in a positive way. And so I told Zach, I was like, I called the band Dean because I didn't want to waste any energy trying to market this band name that was still going to have to get marketed as, well, it's Dean from all of these other bands. So I was like,
Dean, all of a sudden, right?
Yeah, I was like, oh, I just cut out fucking, you know, I had the song called Minor, and then that was it. And
that's why I do the thing like with the Twitch. I'm starting to establish
WB Winton.
WB Winton, which is it's a like the card.
You got to get like a death metal dancing frog.
The card says bass, guitar player, vocalist.
I like that card.
And then a money shot on the back with a quote:
Look
"The
at that
stains
kid.
will wash away, but scars are what remain."
That's good. That's a good one. That card's good.
The card's good. I have shit tons of them, except they some of them say the pain method on them still. You gotta kill that. And don't even know if I want to put the bands on there at this point.
Right, and so
I have a link tree that has everything on it, so I'll probably have a QR to that, and then physical information as well.
I don't do that link tree shit. I send everybody to just my website. I feel like a link tree is just one more step. It's not bad.
What? When you're a band and you have the Spotify, the Apple Music, the YouTube, and the website, and the website will have all of that as well. It's sometimes just an easier way of organizing it, because I've seen the bands. I'm guilty of myself. You know, when you put out a new song or a new album, you have every link you possibly have, and it's just crowded. Nobody's clicking on that shit. But the link tree, it's if it's on your cell phone and you click the Apple Music thing, next thing you know, it's playing on your Apple Music player. It is very easy in that regard. It helps me even organize it, so I can, if I need to send somebody specifically to a spot, I'll go to my own link tree, copy the link, send it to them.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I'm also looking at like a website. Like you have your D Music, Jay Tarantino's got jtarantino.com. I'm looking to basically take what I have with thanatonicdesire.com, put it all kind of under on my labels page, which doesn't exist yet, and just kind of have it all kind of branched from that. But it should have a willwinton.com.
Yeah. And, you know, I was laughing the other day that Slipknot still uses the same website that they've been using since day one, which is slipknot1.com. Like, in 25 years, they haven't been able to procure slipknot.com.
Somebody's like, give me $1 million.
Yeah, 100%, right? Like, but slipknot1.com, like, they've had that since day one, and they never changed it.
Well,
that's it's. I just find that
maybe
funny.
If they change their website, people might know who they are.
I mean,
I think they got it good. I think they're.
I'm just shocked that they don't have. Were never able to buy Slipknot.com and don't have like Slipknot One. Just like go to it.
That's funny.
Yeah, with my website, I had bought 4 or 5 different website names over the years, and then anytime I changed like my website domain, if you put in the old one, it would just bring you
redirect.
Yeah, it would redirect.
I had to do Thanatotic Desire, Thanatonic Desire, Thatononic Desire. I bought all the misspellings. Not all of them, because even to this day, I get surprised with one. I'm like, huh, I didn't even think you could misspell it that way, but here we are.
The band Thanatotic
Desire.
Thanatotic. I remember for years hanging with you, I always called, and all we did was drink together. So, like, I always called it Thanatonic.
Wait till the Gin and Tonic Desire shirts come out this fall. I'm shooting to get a cease and desist from Tanqueray.
Gin and Tonic Desire? You won't get it.
No, that's like, I haven't got one from. We used to be sponsored by Jägermeister.
From Dunkin' Donuts, and we had a coffee cup that was a bomb.
I love that shirt. But you got guys like Gutter. Gutter got one from Dutch Master and Old English.
Really?
Oh yeah, he posted the cease and desist letters on the internet. It's hilarious. Dutch Masters is quick as hell too.
I've only gotten one cease and desist letter sent to any band that I worked with.
Yeah.
And it was from Jerry Only and the Misfits.
Oh, I hear that's heavy. Was it during Misfits or during Graves shows?
No, it was during. No, because only the promoters got those, because we never used
they
the
love
Misfits
using
logo.
That name.
No, it was for Darrow Chemical Company. It was there was a Misfits karaoke after one of the shows. It was after one of the Ghouls Night Outs that was supposed to be. One of the Ghouls Night Out festivals got canceled. It was supposed to be what's that place called?
Ghouls Night Out.
There's a venue in like Rockaway-ish. What are those venues? There's one venue out there that we used to play all the time.
In Rockaway?
Ish, like that area. Booton, maybe.
Stanhope House?
Yes, Stanhope House. Wow, I knew you'd know that.
Woo!
I haven't been there in like fucking 10 years. Yeah, there's only like a handful.
How am I tapping into these old venue memories?
Yeah, I know, right?
I think they almost fell and crumbled, and they got resurrected, and they're still going.
So Stanhope House was supposed to host one of the Ghouls Night Outs, but Matt Pathetic had like completely fucked everybody on that, and like a week or two before the show, canceled the festival. And
fucking great.
Joe and Goolsby and Jason Trioxin, they decided that they were going to put on their own festival with all of the bands who were planning on coming out, just at Dingbats.
Yeah, this is ringing a bell. I do remember.
And since someone had dropped off to make it fun, since it was all like horror punk, type bands, they did a Misfits karaoke at the end where, everybody who was there knew how to play fucking Misfits songs. So it was just like,
they'll go to a mic to say, whoa.
Yeah, like all you got to do is just say whoa, and like you can get every Misfits song. And someone, when they made the flyer, put the Misfits logo on it. And the only reason why that was an issue, why we got the cease and desist, is because that's when the Misfits reunion was happening. And
I feel
the
like
Misfits,
if it wasn't Jerry, it would have been Danzig to get you. Well, Jerry had the rights to the logo.
Jerry has the rights to the logo.
I feel like Graves was getting in trouble before the reunion for similar things. Not Graves, but the promoters for using that logo.
Yeah. Well, when I played
Jerry's
with
legal
Graves,
team is very attentive.
Yeah. Cycloptean fucking music is on top of their shit. And I think the way that they get away with that now, and I could be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure that that's why they call this new band the Original Misfits, is because I'm pretty sure it's its own business.
I think you're 100% right.
Yeah, the reason why it's called the Original Misfits is because that is Glenn and Jerry's like business together.
I think you're right. I think
because I know that
in
like
a couple other instances I'm trying to think of, like Halloween did a thing where they reunited with all their vocalists. So there's currently 3 singers in Halloween, and the original founding member back in, and I think they just call themselves Halloween Pumpkins United, again to separate the
Creedence Clearwater Revisited, Creedence Clearwater Revival. It's like
just John Fogerty, pick it out.
Yeah, John Fogerty, I'm pretty sure he got in trouble for himself. Like he was in both of those bands, and he like the label like sued him because Creedence Clearwater Revival was the original band, and then Creedence Clearwater Revisited was the band that he started up after, and like the label sued him where he wasn't allowed to use his own fucking band name.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Joe, when's the last time you talked to that dude?
Like I said, I reached out to him in the past like couple weeks. Actually,
he's got a big gig.
I had a very quick back and forth with him last weekend when I was in Vegas because I ran into his buddy from No Mas.
Who, Johnny?
Not John. I know John, but who's the singer again?
I don't know.
I know his face, but I didn't know his fucking name. But yeah, I took a quick selfie and sent it to JV because like, we were bullshitting in Vegas, and I was like, I know you, and you know all my friends, but I don't know. Like I know John, but I don't know who you are. You don't know who I am, but we all have the same friends. So we just started. I'm drunk as hell in Vegas. We're bullshitting. Vasta comes up, of course, and yeah, we took a selfie, sent it to him, and he gave me like a woo. I think if you get a woo from JV on a text, that's a positive sign.
Yeah. So, I could tell you after we get off of here, but again, it's not like these patrons really know Joe Vasta or a lot of these people that we talk about.
There we go. I got a nice woo. Oh, damn ring light. Woo.
Nice.
Like there's 11 O's there. That's genuine.
Yeah. That's a woo.
I miss that fucker.
Yeah. So yeah, he's got
some big things going on. Good. I hope he does.
Someone who we've mentioned, Mr. Skullface.
Mr. Skullface
might be hiring him back.
He's Mr. Skullface is probably, I hate to say it, but it seems like he's kind of desperate for musicians.
Yeah, he just did a South American tour and fired the whole band.
Did he really?
Yeah, dude. The dude who he had playing bass called me up before he took the gig, and he was like, "Yo," he's like, "I know," because I got fired from that band. He's like, "I know that you'll give me the skinny, so like, give me the skinny." And
Exactly.
I gave him the big fat juicy. Like, I fucking told him straight up how it was. Like, and I didn't say anything bad, right, about the group, and in fact told the dude to take the gig. And I was like, dude, if I didn't get fired, I'd probably still be there, you know,
Sure,
like,
sure. It's a good ride.
but I told him all the things to not do. And the very first video I saw of this dude playing in South America, he was doing exactly what I told him not to do, which is do not make yourself a bigger spectacle than the guy singing.
Oh, never. That's a rule of thumb.
Yeah, dude. And
Especially when you're in
the
a band
first
like
video I
that.
saw of this dude Brian playing bass in South America, he was fucking smashing a bass, trying to smash it into a
Jerry
million
only?
pieces.
Come on.
Yeah, trying to smash it. Well, Jerry just like he must have breakaway basses because
I watched him destroy like 14 bases at the last Misfits show. It was incredible.
he must have breakaway bases because that dude just like
They are all custom. But,
but
he's
listen,
also a
he
beast.
goes like this.
Also a beast.
But he goes like this, and that thing fucking shatters.
I'll never
Like-
forget the first time I ever saw the Misfits. It was Jerry and Friends. He grabs all 4 strings, just goes.
I
tore
used
them
to do
off.
that. I used to do that at my first show.
Oh, I sure tried. I'd be like,
My-
I
my
got the
first-
G.
My first shows, my first like 3 or 4 shows, that was my ending move. Is I would grab all 6 strings.
I'm listening. I'm just showing off memorabilia. I gotta get that ring light glare away.
Yeah, fuck yeah! Look at that.
Look at Jerry.
Someone gave me a Jerry only. I think it was either Jerry. Yeah, it's a Jerry only
this
thing
is
like
from
this Cliff
2002.
Burton one behind me that's being hidden.
Yep.
Someone gave me a Jerry only one of those, and I gave it to my kid, so he
Oh,
has it
nice.
hanging on his wall.
Does Cliff there? Does he come with a hammer?
He comes with a hammer and a bass and a Misfits shirt. Like,
Classic. He always had a hammer with him. That's like one of the stories they talk about. Like if you knew Cliff on tour in the '80s, he had a hammer, and if you asked him why, he always just said, "You never know." Just You're like, what the fuck? So like, I love that figure. Like, I'm not a big fan of the reaction figures, but I do love the attention to detail there.
yeah, you know, like
Add a little hammer goes a long way.
complete with the Misfits shirt. Like,
It's the only way to do it.
dude,
Bell-bottoms and
99%
ripped-ass
of the reason
pants.
why the Misfits are as famous as they are is because every single time that Metallica brought up that tragedy story of Cliff Burton, every single picture of that man
Wearing a
is
shirt.
either him shirtless with his Misfits tattoo or with a Misfits shirt on. Like, that was it. Like,
I'm guilty. I probably wouldn't know the Misfits if it weren't for Metallica or Cliff.
dude, nobody would.
For the longest time, I don't know if it's still true or not, but I know for the longest time, Glenn Danzig was receiving more money from Misfit royalties by Metallica's performance than it was his own music.
And Die Die My Darling on Garage Days, dude. And Green Hell.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All that, all the stuff Metallica's played has gotten Glenn Danzig.
Yeah, Glenn
more money
Danzig
than
was
his
able
own
to buy
stuff.
Lucille Ball's house because Metallica covered his songs. Like, go fuck yourself.
That's wicked.
Yeah, dude. You know? But, yeah, people don't realize, like, so one of the things I told Zach was, I was like, I think you should market yourself. He might be doing just Ali, but I told him that might be a little too vague because it's not Ali from this band, it's not Ali from that band, it's Zachy Ali. So I told him figure it out, but I really think that he should market himself as Zachy Ali. I've come up with a couple really great ZA logos for him over the years, and he's never used any of them. But like, I'm really big into just market yourself under your name.
Yeah, branding.
The only reason why I don't use Christopher Dean for marketing is because if you type Christopher Dean into Google, you get 2 things. You get the Christopher Dean Band from New Jersey that is not me.
Posers.
Well, there's the leader of the band. He's like this bald guy, Christopher Dean. Like, And then you get the figure skater who won the gold medal in 1984, the year I was born.
And like I've known you a long time. I know your name. No one calls you Christopher.
Dude, if I hear Chris at a show, either my mother or my ex-wife,
your ex-wife
are there. Like that's it. If someone's calling me Chris, it's because my mother or my ex-wife are there. And even they know that I don't turn when I hear Chris. So I'll hear Chris.
No, you're known
Chris.
as Dean. Everyone who knows
Dean,
you
and then I turn around. You know, like
exactly. So no, it's in that best interest because everyone knows you as Dean from insert band here.
By the way, this shirt I got from Brian Kilner. I used to wear this shirt it's faded as all fuck.
Oh, the Shining Joker.
Yeah, it's Jack Nicholson, Shining Jack.
Shining Jack. Yeah.
Jack of Spades.
Yeah.
The Here's Johnny.
I said Joker because it's Jack Nicholson.
Right. Oh yeah, it makes all the sense in the world.
Oh, you saw him down in Asheville?
What?
Did you see him down in Asheville?
Yeah. When I played, that was what, January, I think.
Was that the
him and Effie came out to the show, and I got to spend some nice, great quality time with them.
Oh, I love them. I got to see them when I saw you and JV at Docs last year. You know, that's probably the first time I've seen him in years too.
For the Christmas party?
Yeah.
Man, that was crazy. It was like that Christmas party. I saw half of our old Stomping Grounds crew, and then I went to that Dingbat show and saw the other half.
Right.
Yeah. Like,
why can't we get along? Why can't we all get together?
Yeah.
It's usually timing. I don't think it's anything about getting along. I think everyone's on good terms. It's just a matter of, I got work. Oh, I got the kid. Oh, I got this.
Yeah, it's
we're sitting here with our guitars.
Just as to why we don't meet up is everyone else.
We don't, dude. Iron Maiden says it best in Wasted Years, man. You don't know you're living the glory years till they're behind you, man. And it is what you make of it. You know, like we had our heyday.
You like to see homos naked?
Homos naked? What?
Homos where you make it? Waterboy?
Where you make it? No, we had our heyday back, you know, when we were like the 3 biggest bands in the New Jersey area. Like every day was a gift that we didn't even realize we were living. You know, it was such a gradual drift. And then next thing you know, it's 2015, 2016. Doomsday is gone. Darkness is gone. Thanatolic's hanging on by a thread. We're all...
Shadows of Dawn became Ethereus.
Ethereus. I love that, by the way. I do love that. It's just, yeah, we've all, you know, I'm glad to see Tarantino still playing, Sandman still playing. I'm crazy that Thanatolic's still playing. When Zach was mentioning, he's like, you know, me and Dean were talking, and we're talking to Jay, and I'm like, about? So he's like, well, we're gonna probably, I don't know, we might re-record some of the old stuff, might do some new stuff. I'm like, so Darkness Descends is back as well, you know, we're talking. I'm like, Darkness Descends is back. I was like, I tried to bring you back from the grave with our Decade of Desire. We did. You guys did like a couple shows, and then, you know.
Dude, and that was crazy. That Decade of Desire,
I wanted to recreate what we had. And I tried our damnedest, like, well, Darkness doesn't exist. Or could they?
We do need a bass player.
Oh, man. I don't have a 5-string.
Just tune your 4 down.
We could maybe work something out.
Tune your 4 down to drop A.
Oh. Drop A, huh?
Get some of that.
I forget what I'm actually doing a side project with some songs we're just fucking with Guy Luna.
He wrote that's one of the old songs that we're going to be doing.
No shit.
He wrote
Dr. Doom. Dr. Doom.
Yeah, we're gonna re-record Doctor Doom in specific because of the fucking Fantastic Four movie coming out.
Coming. Oh, you probably you know the rumor. The rumor right now, the ongoing rumor is that the after credit scene of
Black Panther
is gonna have him. Can't fucking wait.
Yeah, dude. And like, yeah, apparently that whole the boat and the whole crew in Black Panther, everyone who's like going into Atlantis, that whole crew is supposed to be Doctor Doom's crew.
I can't wait. I mean, I'm a big action figure nerd, comic collector, and
fuck yeah, dude.
man, the damn ring light sucks when I'm showing off plastic
There he
stuff.
is, though. That's wait, who is that? That's use the force, Will. Use the force.
There, you see my calluses?
Yeah, I do.
There we go.
There you go. Dude, that's why I hate autofocus.
I can't do much with this fucking camera. It exists. Because I'm too broke to get new ones.
You might be able to find they replaced the cameras that I use now. I use the Canon M50s.
Yeah.
They replaced them with a newer model that's a little bit, I don't want to call it like a little bit lower grade, but I want to say more affordable. They turned it into a more affordable version where I still have it. Just like my cameras are still, they're the top tier of like personal cameras, but not professional. But they have like so many of the professional.
A few professional features goes a long way.
Yeah, and the big thing is they've gotten rid of. Johnny was giving me the whole rundown of it. Canon's getting rid of all the different mounts. So they used to have like the F mount, and then they have the M mount, and now there's another one, and it's just like the way the lenses click on. So if you want, I can use like adapters to put different lenses on my cameras.
Okay. You're talking SLR, DSLRs, right?
Well, yeah. So I can actually show you. 2 seconds.
God, I miss this band. So a little face.
So these are the cameras. This is my third one.
Was that mirrorless?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And then the reason why I like them.
Nice. You can flip that.
And you could, yeah, you could flip it so you could like
Beautiful.
be filming and see. So like you could hold it and you can see it's a good content camera. This is I have 3 of these. I have 2 white ones and a black one. The reason why I got the white ones is because when you go to a show or you go anywhere,
easy to find.
Everyone has the black cameras.
Yep.
Fucking white camera, nobody's got them. Matches my fucking shoes. You know, like
nice. Yeah, it gets to a point. It's like everyone's got the black everything.
Yeah. The only reason why I have the one black camera, I would have had all 3 white cameras, is because the black one came with. Oh, what's up there, kitty cat? Horus.
Son of Isis. Speak.
Meow.
He does sometimes. He's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I got the only reason why I have the black one is because the black one came with a kit with this as a, what is it, 15 to 45 millimeter lens, and then the black one also came with a 55 millimeter to 200 millimeter lens.
Damn. Okay. Nice.
Yeah, and so when I put the 55 millimeter lens on this camera that's on me right now, that's the black one. It's only my face.
That's a nice close-up zoom.
Yeah, and like my room's not big enough
for your picking hand or whatever.
Yeah, and I use these lenses on everything. The 15 to 45 millimeter lens. I use these on everything in my room. So the other two cameras that are on that are here right now, it's the same lens.
Nice. I definitely want to upgrade. This works, except for when it doesn't.
I bring this up because these M50, you want to get the Mark II M50.
Yeah.
You might be able to get them used for a decent price. And the reason why I want to get the Mark II is I'm using the clean 4K out right now. So with an HDMI cable into a capture card for both of these cameras, it's a mini HDMI cable into a USB capture card that goes, big HDMI to USB out into the computer. You want to get the Mark II if you get one of these used because you can do this. I could film in 4K and not have all the shit like without the clean 4K. You have like your battery over here, like in the screen. You have like all your settings and shit, and like all around you, it would have all those menu shit. The Mark IIs have that clean 4K.
So okay, is that like the term? Like if I see clean 4K, that's a term to.
That means that you don't see all of the menu shit when you're using it like this through the HDMI.
Professional.
Yeah. If I had gotten the Mark I, I would have been so pissed. Because then
zoom it in and then crop it out.
Or you just use like the 1080 or 720 or whatever, Now, this doesn't come out to you in 4K, but if I want to film that way, it won't be there.
Yeah, I don't know if any of the streaming's true 4K.
No, it isn't. Right now in Zoom, I had to... So because I'm a paying customer, I'm able to broadcast in 720p, but you have to send them an email and request that.
I remember you talking about this.
Yeah, it's usually like 360 or whatever it is, or fucking 480, whatever the fuck. Yeah. But you hit them up and then you can get the 720. I can't get 1080p in Zoom unless you have 10 licenses. Like you have to have like the business thing. Yeah, you have to have the business. Like I have
You're like a business doing multiple lessons or multiple things.
It's like
that's when it would warrant that kind of.
I'm a business, but I'm like a personal business, and then there's like there's two tiers above the free. There's the free, then there's the one I have, which is it's like $20 a month, $16 a month, whatever. And then it's like the professional. It's like business and professional or whatever it is. And then the professional is you buy like bulk licenses. So it's like if I had a company and there was like 10 different teachers, you buy 10 licenses at once, but that's the only way that you can get 1080p through Zoom. So basically it would cost me like $200 a month to have 1080p, and I don't make enough money in Zoom lessons to justify that yet.
No, not yet.
But I will.
Yeah. No, I kind of feel the same way about like my just upgrading the equipment and stuff. Like I'm not quite affiliate yet, even on Twitch. So I'm hoping to get affiliate within a year. A few more months to go, but see how that goes. I'm getting close. If I can get affiliate, I'll start upgrading some more stuff. Change my background scenery a little bit. I can't figure out how to get Frank Thrash off of here.
I got to figure out how to get that type of setup. I should try using Streamlabs. I have Streamlabs OBS.
It's easy. It gave me a lot of problems, and for the longest time,
so does OBS.
Yeah, they all do. It's just like Mac or Windows, whatever you're familiar with. I think
it's not even. It's like it's whatever the settings are.
My biggest issue is I was having latency issues. Like what I was playing, was off sync to. Sometimes I'll like play to YouTube. Sometimes I'm playing to my Spotify. Sometimes I'm playing to a Google Drive file. Sometimes I'm playing to Songster, so it's just tabs, and it was off, like way beyond human error, you know. And I'm trying to make clips to expand my growth, and I'm like, I can't make a clip of this. How did anybody even like watch this? And how come nobody said anything?
Yeah, so what I had to do.
Figured it out. I figured it out, but it was what the fuck.
Yeah, for me, I had to when I was doing like these playthroughs and stuff. There is an offset.
I saw that setting. You can do it by a couple seconds or.
Yeah, so you have to. I have to offset because when you record, right, the audio will be off from the video. And here I can show you too where I did it. So under these audio settings here, you can see I have OBS open, but I'm not using it. See, it has like the triple shot there.
Yep.
But none of my buttons fucking work. God damn it. I got all fucked up, huh?
Yeah,
there we go.
Honestly, Streamlabs is very similar like that. If I
it's exactly the same. When I've opened them up, it's exactly the same. But see right here in the settings for the desktop audio versus the mic. First off, on Mac, that's fucking completely impossible to do. To get like, you have to install a whole other thing. It's either called Black Channel Audio or Soundflower or whatever the fuck. And basically, you have to make your own an audio device. Like I could show you here in my sound devices. Yeah, I have this special one for OBS. And I think, oh yeah, right. Oh no, that's not it. But for my desktop audio versus my microphone versus the camera, I have to have the desktop audio 250 milliseconds offset and my microphone 300 milliseconds offset. So that way when I do my recording, is that a
volume offset or is that a time offset?
That's a time offset.
Oh, okay.
So the volume offset is over here. So the desktop audio is negative 16.2. The microphone is negative 4.7. I think that's just based on like the meters here.
And then the sync offset, you got.
And then the sync offset, yeah. And this.
You got to do a lot of trial and error for that.
A lot of trial and error, dude. And it's like it's trial and error to the point where you have to like record something and then watch
Play
it
back. Yeah, and then it's like, oh, it's so close. Beep.
Yeah, dude. And I went through.
Are you doing it in increments of 50 milliseconds or?
I was all over the place.
Yeah.
I was all over the place.
I went down that road thinking that was my issue, but it was a lot of audio driver stuff on my end.
Yeah, and like, it was a big pain in the ass to get that all situated and settled. And like I was saying earlier, something happened between, like I can even hear it now, I just had to turn OBS off. Like something happened in one of the OBS updates where I used to use OBS as my virtual camera in Zoom the way you are.
Yeah.
But like all of a sudden, now it's like... And I used to run that like that on my laptop, which only it's, you know, smaller graphics card, less RAM. And now on this computer, which has more RAM, better graphics card, even still, it gets like peaked out when I have both Zoom and OBS open at the same time. So now I just don't even do that anymore.
This is the first time I've done the virtual thing. I had a few minutes before we joined, so I was like, let me try to play with some settings because I do love my little layout and stuff. I like to be able to kind of do these kind of things to show off things if I need to.
Yeah, and just a few seconds I had OBS on, I heard my fan kick on my computer. That's why I just closed it and like close it out real quick. Because it'll start fucking lagging. And I don't know who did this. I don't know who changed it. I don't know if it was Zoom or if it was OBS.
It's probably something updated and reset to default.
but Johnny and I were looking. They have these external graphics cards for Macs, where it basically looks like an external, like the old school Seagate external hard drives. It's like the silver thing, and you plug that in through Thunderbolt, and that handles
the boost and everything you need.
Yeah, that handles like your extra graphics. The work that the hardware has to do. So it's like $400 or $500. Not that I have that readily available, because I'm so sick and tired of every time I need something. It used to be back in the day, it was like $100 for this, like $100 for that.
Fix everything. Now it's $500.
Now it's $500 to $700, even $1,000.
Yep.
And I'm like not into that. I don't love that. Each one of these cameras, dude, this camera was $700.
Yeah.
And the very first payout that I ever got from Patreon, I used towards half of this this is number one. I numbered my fucking cameras so I'd know which one was what. But this camera right here was the very first Patreon payout, was like $300 and change.
That's great, man.
And I used it towards half of this camera.
That's what all the music, all the money I'm starting making with Whiplash and stuff, I want to put back into music and stuff. There's so many things I want to upgrade or improve.
Well, it's also tax deductible, bud.
Yeah, I know.
It's also tax deductible.
Oh, you're talking to an LLC owner. I know all about that fun.
Dude, I'm hardcore on that. And this is another thing that I love talking about as often as possible. I may not be a millionaire, right? I may not be the richest man on the planet, but I've been trying to explain to people like Zach and everyone else, since, my journey has gone the way that it has. The number one thing that I noticed between rich people and poor people is that rich people do everything they can to hold on to their money, right? When I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad all those years ago, it talked about Rich Dad would work his job and then put money into investments, and then the money from those investments would be the money that paid the bills, right? So instead of taking your money from your job and paying your bills, you put your money in an extra step.
So it can grow a little bit.
And all you're doing is like you're just putting it into an investment, whether you buy a house, whether you buy stocks to give you dividends, whatever the fuck it is. And then eventually the profit from the thing that you invested in, that's what pays your bills, right? Well, I started realizing that a big difference between the rich and the poor is that the rich do everything they can to hold on to their money. So it's like you can make money, but then you have to pay it in taxes. Well, if you don't have any tax deductions, then you're getting screwed. So like I claim everything, right? There's some people that I work with who don't pay me in a W-2 or 1099, or even my lessons, right? It's all just flat fee, no tax. It depends. If they pay with a credit card, then the tax gets taken out and whatever. But even still, I double pay, and I just pretend like I never even paid that. And with my accountant, I claim every single lesson. I claim every single job I get. It doesn't matter if I get paid in Venmo, Zelle, whatever. I go through all of my accounts, and I claim that as income. And then I offset that by how much shit I've had to buy.
Yeah, you just prove how broke you are. That's
by all the shit that I've had to buy throughout the year, and I offset that.
Write it off, yep.
Yeah, and I don't do it. I have an accountant that does that, but I sit there and I organize everything for him, so it's fucking painless. But everything, dude, these pants that I'm wearing, I bought these pants for one purpose. To use them while I'm playing on stage live. I just happen to wear them sometimes also. But it's like part of my stage wardrobe.
Especially are you considered a freelance artist?
It depends on who I work for.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, you have a lot of stable gigs, but you do take freelance work, it seems. So I don't know how to classify you, but, like, I know you have your
I just consider myself an independent contractor who doesn't get a fucking 1099, so I just do it all myself. And that's one of the things I try and explain to Zach. It's like, it's not so much about making your money, it's about not losing the money that you've made.
Using your money to work
keeping the
for
money
you.
that you've made. You know, and yeah, look at that fucking dirty ass shoe.
Better than my chucks are falling the fuck apart.
It's gaffer's tape. I've gaff tape on the floor for like all my marks for where my chairs and shit go. I've gaff tape and duct tape.
I just picked up a whole bunch of gaff tape off my monster cables, my stage cables.
Dude, yeah, I spike my floor like you would on a stage. So like right now my chair's not in the angle that it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be.
You got to set up like a drum rug.
Yeah, like I have a straight line over here, and then I have a vertical line here for the side, and then I have a horizontal line here for where I line up. So that way, I look at this camera.
It's the same position.
Yeah, first off, because I don't do that autofocus thing. I do everything in manual focus, so I have to be in the same spot. Otherwise, I'll be a little bit out. But I have that camera shot, and then back in the day, I used to be able to just push this button, but now, fuck it. But then this one...
Hey, it worked.
Well...
Oh, this one worked.
I did it through
manually,
Zoom.
not the hotkey.
Yeah. But yeah, and so even though I'm looking this way at that camera, but because of how I sit and how the guitar is, this camera is on the angle straight of the guitar. So I won't move at all, right? But I'm over here and see how my guitar is facing that way. So yeah, I have this second camera over here, first camera over there.
No, you got a nice setup, man.
I try. That third camera right here, I put it on top of my keyboard here on a tripod and have it face down.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, so you could see the hands. But I haven't set that up since fucking forever now. I only have one young student that I do piano lessons with, and we don't always do piano, so.
Very cool, man.
But yeah, I gotta get up on this Twitch game. So that little, I had initially planned on doing all this stuff, and then the one good thing about getting let go by that demi gig, right? Even though I wanted that gig, right before I got that gig, I was in the middle of doing my curriculum. I was in the middle of being hardcore. I filmed a whole bunch.
Your whole lesson plans thing you were working out.
Oh, dude, it's gotten so far now. I got 62 images while I was out in LA. I think only 1 or 2 of my images have to have further edits, but other than that, it's pretty much all set up.
Awesome.
For the most part, for like the main drop. I just have to get in and like write a few words about some stuff and everything like that, and figure out how I want to drop it. But I was making huge progress on that. I filmed 7 or 8 different videos for the Dean's List before I left. Right, and I just haven't had time to edit them. But it's like, you know, rule number 1, I dropped it on this Patreon. It's don't forget to have fun. Well, I have 7 or 8, 9, 10 more videos that I filmed in that setting where like I changed my shirt and hat. I changed my shirt and hat in between every single fucking rule. So even though I sat down and did it all in one session, it looks like, you know,
a game show or something.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like the Tonight Show where they film 2 shows in one day. You know, like go from a black suit to a blue suit, whatever. And yeah, and I have all this stuff together, and then I got that gig, and like everything had to stop. So then I came home, and I built, and I still am working on that stuff, but it's like I'm only me, right? Usually in a band you get to. Yeah, in a band you get to like split up responsibilities, and that's a whole other reason why your band gets to break up, because this person isn't doing that. And that was Darkness's downfall, by the way.
Hey man, you didn't add 50 friends on our MySpace page.
I'll tell you right now, so much of it was Zach and Chuck. Chuck was our resident Jewish guy, so naturally he got all of the accounting work. The bank account was in his name, but he was horrible with money. Oh, and he was the one doing all the clerical work for like ASCAP, BMI, but he never did it. So it was like, and Zach, world's greatest musician, you know, unknown musician, drums, guitar, bass, producing, piano, fucking whatever. Never sells a single ticket. Never sells even that show that I saw you at Dingbats, he was in 4 fucking bands.
Yeah, he was. was.
I heard one of his bands ask him if he brought his spare tickets that he didn't sell. He was like, "Oh man, I forgot him at home." I was like, fucking PTSD, dude. It was like PTSD. Like in Darkness Descends, Zach
That's
constantly wouldn't sell his 10 or 15 tickets or whatever. And then, never you mind not selling them, he wouldn't bring them to the fucking show. So
you have to
still had to
up
pay
with
for them.
Yeah. Oh, that is all. We weaned that out. We got to a point. It's like, all right, it's been X amount of years. Dave ain't selling any tickets. All right.
Yeah, just stop giving them to him.
What do you do? Do you kick him out of the band? No, that's not warranted. Just don't give him responsibilities he can't tackle. And it was everybody. Ben wasn't doing that either. So it's like, all right, well, I guess I'll do all of that. Because if I don't, it won't happen and the band does nothing.
If anyone wants to know why Slipknot only has 2 members on fucking paper that own that band, it's because of shit like that.
Because of shit like that.
It's
Corey and Jim?
No, it's Corey and Clown.
Clown? It's not Jim Root?
Nope.
Interesting. I figured he was like part songwriter or something because he's also Stone Sour.
It was Chris Fenn when he left. That's what brought all this to light. We've all always thought that those 9 members of Slipknot were the band, but it wasn't. There was 3 people who owned that band when they first came out, and it was Joey, Paul Gray, and Sean. That's it. And then years later, Corey became a member. But I don't know if it was before or after Joey and Paul died. I don't know when he came in, but if you look at Slipknot on paper, that LLC, it's Sean and Corey Taylor.
Sense.
That's it. Everyone else is a hired gun.
That makes sense.
And that's why Jim Root, he came out and said, like, it was not my choice to leave Stone Sour. I was not given a choice. I was told what to do.
Damn.
Yeah, and because, dude, and to be fair, Slipknot needed a songwriter.
Yeah.
Their songwriters died. They did. You know, the songwriters forever and a day were Joey Jordison and Paul Gray. That's who the songwriters were always. So they needed someone who was going to be their main songwriter, and Jim Root definitely has the talent. You know, but he's still a hired gun. You know, like, that sucks.
Yeah, man.
I'm sure they get royalties and stuff, but like,
well, I remember hearing a while back, Slipknot makes $0. The members make $0 on their music, but it's all merchandise.
On what?
On their music.
Really?
It's all merchandise. Like Corey, I know Corey's been in interviews saying it. So if Corey doesn't get a cent from the music, then again, that could be that could break down to publishing stuff, like you were mentioning just before. It could just all go to Chris Fane and Joey's foundation estate.
You
whatever.
mean Paul Gray and Joey's?
Their estate or whatever, they have their loved ones' money. I don't know how that works when you die, but I know their money's going to the right people, I'd imagine. I'd hope.
Yeah, I can't imagine that it's not, because of how highly regarded those 2 were to that band. I can't imagine that their family gets nothing. But who knows? Like now?
Well, I mean, it seems like they're running out of they're hitting the end of their Roadrunner deal. The new album's called The End So Far. So I predict they're going to do a Metallica move and start their own label and go independent from there. They don't need a label at this point.
I may have heard something.
You have a little more insight than I do.
I may have heard something.
That's my educated guess.
Yeah. From what I heard, I don't know how much water it holds, but I'm pretty sure that another record company is going to snag them up. And you could probably use your educated guess to figure out which company that may be.
Metal Blade.
Well, so there's 3 big ones that if I were to guess Slipknot moving, it would either be Nuclear Blast, Metal Blade, or Sumerian?
No.
I don't know, man. Look at the moves.
If Slipknot's smart, I mean, if
Listen,
if I was,
I'm
if
just
I
saying,
was
if they go to
Slipknot,
Sumerian Records, they are the kings. I mean, no matter
That
where
would do-
Slipknot goes, no matter where Slipknot goes, they're the kings.
Sumerian.
but-
I think Sumerian needs Slipknot more than Slipknot needs Sumerian. Why would they go to Sumerian? What can
But then
Sumerian
again,
do for Slipknot?
hold on, yeah, but so yeah, right. If you go to a company that needs you more, now I'm not saying this is going to happen. Right?
No, respect.
But
This is all speculation.
Yeah. I don't know anything. I heard down the line that one of those three bands might be, one of those three labels might be trying to pick up that band. I'm sure everyone's trying to pick up that band, but think about it. Think about all of the big bands in metal. For the most part, if you think about the biggest of the bands, they're on either Sumerian or Roadrunner. And
Put them on the. I'd mention the other two. I mean, Sumerian's got.
But what's the last band you heard besides Soulfly that came out on fucking Nuclear Blast? Like
all the bands I listen to are Nuclear Blast.
Okay.
And Metal Blade.
All right. So
I think we listen to slightly different.
Yeah, we listen to the same. Well, I actually barely even listen to metal anymore, so like I'm kind of fucking bad for that. But judging by the last song that I just wrote, that sounds like fucking Buckethead should be jamming over it. But anyway, I think about it from a business perspective. If you are a band and Sumerian, like let's say Sumerian needs Slipknot more than Slipknot needs Sumerian, well, for Slipknot, that's great to go to a company that needs you more, because what do you get with that?
Well, this is what I see.
You get hella leverage.
Yeah, but you can only get so much from us. I don't consider Sumerian that big of a label. Yeah, they're a big label, but in the grand scheme of things, sure. No, I'm not talking crap. I'm just saying, in the grand scheme of things, Slipknot is potentially the next.
They are.
They are the next Metallica in a sense.
Yeah.
So why the hell would they go with a baby label like Sumerian when they got, in my opinion, Metal Blade and Nuclear Blast dwarf Sumerian? And Metal Blade's got a reputation for being the label that bands go to die. So if I was Slipknot, I would go independent now because they don't need a label.
Well,
Metallica doesn't need a label.
There's that.
You know, why would they go?
There's benefits
after all
that a
this
label
time, they
has.
have every resource they have. Their management can definitely take them on an independent run, and they will reap all the benefits instead of some of the benefits.
I just feel like if you're a big band and you go to a smaller label, you have the ability for leverage. Where
could be
Universal, UMG, is Sumerian's distributor.
No, they're the major label.
Yes. So I know because there's a song that I did a bass playthrough of the live set for Nita, and it kept getting blocked on YouTube. And it was Universal Music Group that was blocking it. And I was like, and there's the set starts off with Carmina Burana, and then it goes into Power Rangers, and then at the end of the set, the Rocky IV song plays. So I thought it was one of those three songs that was getting me blocked. Especially, I thought it was the Rocky song.
Yeah, it would make sense, sure.
Right? It would make sense, right? Then I found out that Sumerian is distributed by Universal, and then so I was like, all right. So there was an unreleased song that we've been playing live for almost a year. And I don't make my videos public on YouTube, right? I have to upload them on YouTube, but then I post them in Patreon. So like this video, when I'm done, this video gets posted up on published to YouTube, but as unlisted video.
Gotcha.
And then I post the link into Patreon. Once I took out Nita's song that's getting released on the 30th of this month in 3 days. Once I took that song out of my bass playthrough, it was fine. So it's Universal's on their shit. You know, it's not like Sumerian's fucking. It had nothing to do with Sumerian Records. It was Universal that blocked the song. So, you know, yeah, who knows? Who knows where they will go? It's, if you ask me, like I said, it's not the end of the world to move to a bigger independent label that's still small compared to you because you get more leverage.
Could be. Could be. Slipknot, I feel like they can do anything they want.
I know of a band in specific that had approached Sumerian Records to release their first album, and Sumerian said, "Okay, we'll give you a 1-album deal, and here's a shit deal."
Was it a development deal?
It was just a releasing deal. It was just releasing the first album, and then it was you get 1 album, and it was a shit deal, and then this band raised their own money. I don't want to say who or how because I don't want to give
who. I think we mentioned the guitarist for this band in an earlier conversation tonight.
I know that we mentioned the bass player.
Was he playing bass? I think I know.
I just texted you. I
I know exactly who you're talking about, and oh no, I did not think that at all.
Yeah. So.
Okay, all right, we're on different pages.
So yeah. So this band then did a crowdsourcing campaign and made boatloads of money in no time at all.
Yeah.
In less than a few days, made. Again, I don't want to say the amount because it might give it away.
All good.
But then they went back to these labels and just had all the flex room in the world because technically
they don't need
the label was no longer needed. But it was wanted.
My own ongoing opinion on record labels is that for the longest time I've considered them just a bankroll.
Well, that's what it is. It's a bankroll for all kinds of things. You know, you don't have to. Slipknot happens to be a band of millionaires, or at least a couple of them, so it's different, right? So they can technically do anything, but you still have to come out of pocket. And like someone like Corey, he's a real estate investor. So even though that dude might have a lot of money, he doesn't have
anything in pocket to spend.
Yeah, he might not have massive amounts of liquid, and I'm talking like hundreds of thousands of dollars. An album cycle for a band that big isn't just like for me and you. If you and I want to go and do like a proper album cycle, a proper one, we would need 20 to 30 grand for recording, mixing, mastering, merchandise, and distribution and promotion.
Yep,
that's what you would consider a proper drop, right? And nobody has that money to do that, right? But Slipknot to do an album drop like that would be hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not more.
$250,000,
easy. And who the fuck wants to drop $250,000 out of their own personal bank account?
If they know, I mean, a band like Slipknot, you drop $250,000, that might that will turn into $1 million, if not more.
Split by 9 fucking people.
Yeah, it's
split by 9 people plus
maybe
payroll.
Not evenly, split the way it's split.
Yeah, split by 9 people and staff. Like
It's a machine. It's a very big company.
Yeah, I'm sure that Slipknot has 40 people or so on payroll when they tour. I'm sure of it.
Probably.
I'm sure that band has 40 people on their fucking payroll when they roll, minimum, when they roll into a city. Minimum. Not to mention the publicist, not to mention all of the individual people's managers.
Yeah, you're right.
Like
just a raw Slipknot Incorporated, whatever it's structured, everybody involved in that operation and production.
Yeah, like, dude, Demi Lovato had 30 people on fucking payroll for her rock and roll show of 5 people.
Damn.
And I can only imagine that Slipknot, it's such a bigger fucking production. They have pyrotechnics specialists. They probably have a whole staging crew, like a whole riggers union crew. Yeah, like I guarantee you they have all union workers on a lot of this stuff. And that shit ain't cheap. You know, and so who knows? But like, and that's what the purpose is for a record label when you're at that level. For any type of real world release nowadays, no, a label is not needed. First off, almost nobody does albums anymore. You know,
Yeah, I keep studying that the release schedules of everybody else. It's crazy.
yeah, almost nobody does an album anymore. Like, I'm one of the few people at this level that wants to do a 3-disc album for my sophomore album. I'm an asshole. But I don't care. You know, for me, I come from the generation of you put in the disc and you hit play.
And you play the whole thing that's given to you.
Yeah, and it's that. Like Ocean of Storms.
I still hold to that. That's how I grew up too, man. That's how I hold on to it. But I am looking at I understand both sides, and I still want to. I'm going to do both. We do 2 singles this year. We do another single, then maybe the album next year, maybe a couple EPs, maybe 12 singles.
If I were you, man, and like by the time I actually get down to it, I'm probably going to. Maybe I'll do like a single every 2 months. Once I get it finished, that's how I'm going to drop it. Like I'm going to do like, I'll do like a single every month or 2 months or 3 months or whatever. But I'm also going to drop the album in its entirety.
Right.
You know, and then just push out the singles in forms of either music videos or whatever. And judging by the music I've been doing lately, I'm going to do the 9 Inch Nails route too, where that's the thing I loved. I loved the 9 Inch Nails Halos. So 9 Inch Nails, they had like a single, Down in It. And then there was like 3 or 4 versions of that song on a disc. And then they released Pretty Hate Machine. And then they released Sin. The Sin, that was either Halo 4 or 5, right? It was like, they released all these different versions, their singles, after the album. But then each single had multiple versions remixed of the songs. I loved that model. Manson even did that with his singles.
They'll do that. They'll put out a live version, a remix version.
The UK drop that has like the song "The Horrible People" had this horn introduction to The Beautiful People, like this trumpet fucking style introduction, or intro rather, for the song. And it was a little slightly different and had like some electronics and shit, you know, mixed in with it. That's probably how I'm going to do a lot of my drops for singles, where there will be the 3-disc album. But then there will be singles that have remixes and acoustic versions.
It's good for selling music too, because it gives you the incentive to, you just get the album, or you want to maximize what you're getting. You get the singles too, and you get these things you won't hear otherwise.
Yeah, and so I came home from that Demi Lovato tour, and I took like the last $200 I had for my last paycheck. My last paycheck, I had to give like most of it to my cousin for money I owed for rent. And then I took like the last $200 from that check, and I paid Zach to go into my first album and then the one single. And I had him go in and give me all the stems. So I have like the vocal stems, the bass stems, guitar stems, backup vocals, drums. But that's what I've been taking. I've been taking those drum stems and then making those demos.
That's cool, man.
You know, and like I'm just taking these drum stems because there's fucking all these different tempos.
Like you said,
145, 185, 180.
Drums, you could basically take any drum beat and tweak it.
You don't even have to tweak it, right? You know what I mean? Like it all depends on what you're doing on top of it.
Yeah.
And in the punk demo that I did, I took the drums from Punk Night's Finale, and I have these 2 riffs that they're the same riff, but one's in 4/4 and one's in 7/8, and the riffs were That's in 4/4. That's in 4/4. But then I had a variation that I didn't even realize was in a different timing until Zach had to track
So you
the
put
drums and they didn't
on it,
line up.
right.
And the other one was. And that's in 7/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And like I didn't know, right? But when I took those drums and then put them into my other punk song, the way I had that riff. And I played that on top of these 7/8 drums that I kept the 4/4 feel on top. It sounds like a fucking drum solo comes in.
Nice.
You know, like the drums are like, it sounds like some staggered ass fucking off time drum solo, and it's not, right? And unless I point that shit out to you back to back, you would never guess that those are the same
riff.
the same drums with a different riff over it, making it sound completely different.
Right.
You know, like, so I came home, I took my last $200 that I had, paid him for that, started building this session, and then in that session is where I made these 2 new songs.
That's cool as hell, man.
Yeah, and so I had this super neat organized session that now has 2 like fucking rough track demos at the end of it that almost like make it a complete fucking mess. But it almost makes it a complete fucking mess. But I do that with everyone now, and I've been doing that for years. Where like, it started with Angel Vivaldi when I had to learn that set. I had all the songs, and then I had all the isolated bass tracks from him. So I synced up the bass tracks to the songs, so I could learn the song. But if I wasn't hearing something in the bass, I could mute the song, just listen to the bass, and then it was basically like I have my own session, right? So I do that with my live stuff, or my album stuff, but I just got hired by this band that I was supposed to play for a few times now called Raven Black. Have you heard of them? They were on tour with Static X. It's a chick singer, short little girl, wears like a fucking like a dress and black and white face paint and shit. And it's kind of like it's creepy carnival music but metal. It's like if ICP was a metal band, kind of, sort of. And like not rap, you know, but you know, that type of imagery. And they're hiring me to play 2 shows in October in California, one in Irvine, another one in Sacramento. So I'm happy because I'm going to be able to play that Riddler guitar finally.
Yeah, that's cool.
Right, and I've been wanting to do that for a while. But yeah, so like they sent me all the songs and then the isolated guitar tracks, right? And so I put all the songs into a session, you know, each song in its own track, and then underneath it, I sync up the guitar track with it. So I could learn the song with the music. If I need to hear it without it, then I just isolate that guitar track, or I can bring that guitar track up higher in the mix, so that way I can kind of hear better what's going on along with the song, whatever. And that's what I do everything like now. So
nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna continue on that. So when I came back from the Michael Graves tour in 2017, I took a bunch of the money I made from that, and I went to the studio with Zach, and you know, paid him $100 a day, $200 a day, whatever the hell I did, and I tracked like 28 or 30 songs on acoustic skeletons. So I'm going to build a whole second session for the album, and I've written more songs since then. I'm going to make a whole session for the next Ocean of Storms album and do it that same way, where basically when I hand it off to Zach, it's going to look like a master session with 100 fucking tracks in it. And I don't care.
No, that's for him to work out.
Yeah, that's your fucking problem. I could do it all individually. Like he gave me all the files so I can like open up each song one at a time.
Right.
But I'm so ADD that I don't like sometimes like right now I have to work on Darkness Descends stuff, but my mind isn't there. So like I've been working on other stuff, and I want to try and, you know, maybe I want to work on this song today. Maybe I want to work on that song today. I don't want to have to I'm such a lazy bastard sometimes. I don't want to open up, like, I don't know that I want to work on this song, or I don't know that I want to work on this song. So let me open up the session
Kind of play around and see where
what falls where.
That could be the most way to be like passionately productive.
Well, for me, all my songs are, every song I've ever written, I write it on the acoustic. They got these super rich chords, and in those chords, I hear and feel everything I was feeling when I wrote that. Like, it's like the triggering the fucking Jay Tarantino PTSD when I hear his fucking phone. It's like when I hear a certain chord, I'm like, oh, that's the day that fucking this girl broke my heart, or this is the day that my dad died, or like fucking whatever, you know, like
tapping right back into that emotion.
Yeah, I tap right back into it. And so I never know how I'm gonna feel ever.
Yeah.
Like I said, right now I'm supposed to be writing metal songs, but I got like this punk energy and this fucking I'm calling it guitar yoga energy, where it's like soft and like backtracking stuff for me to improvise over. I call it guitar yoga, trademark. But but like yeah, and I never know how I'm gonna feel, so I kind of just want to make one big fucking sloppy, messy session that has just all 30 something songs in there. And then and the reason why I want to do that is because I record thunderstorms a lot.
I've done that too.
I do it all the time.
I got a main street by my house, so every now and then you hear a fucking car and it's like
yeah, you just edit it out, like, or leave it in. It's one or the other, right? Either edit it out or you just leave it in, right? And so yesterday I had exactly that. Since I live in Florida, it was this vicious, like my house is all concrete. These are all cinder block walls. So when there's like a giant thunder clap, it resonates really fucking weird in my house. And it almost sounds like metal, you know, like it almost sounds like metal, has like this metal ring to it. So I can hear the thunder super clearly. So I take my phone and I put it outside in the carport on top of the Corvette out there, and I just leave my phone recording a voice memo, and I record waves, like ocean waves, and I record thunderstorms constantly.
Hell yeah, man.
My album is also called Ocean of Storms.
I think you have.
So the idea here is that all of these recordings will get mixed in between the songs or in the songs. Like I have, the album's called Ocean of Storms because there is actually one song called Ocean of Storms. And I get that. I don't know if I've ever told you, but Oceanus Procellarum is the biggest. When you look up at the moon, it's his left eye, of the man on the moon. It's everything in on the moon. It's called like the Sea of Tranquility. That's where the Apollo landed, right? Sea of Tranquility, the Bay of this, the fucking whatever. There's only one spot that's called the Ocean of, and that's the Ocean of Storms.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and so that's where the album comes from. The album name comes from is being inspired by that. I actually have this great 1960s. Can I get it? I don't know if I can reach it right now because where my cameras are. But I have this 1960s breakdown of the Apollo missions that has the Saturn V rocket on it, and it came from like Time magazine from like 1960 something. And it has the Apollo rocket, the lunar lander, and then it's got this breakdown of the moon where it says the Latin name and the English name for every fucking crater on the moon.
That's so cool.
And for years I've always had that. I want it behind me here, but it is so old and it's been on so many walls of mine. It's so old and so brittle that it's like it's barely together anymore. What?
You gotta frame it.
Yeah, right now it's like all taped together and shit. It's like if you look at the backside of it, there's like orange tape, black tape, blue tape. Like it's whatever tape is available anytime that thing rips. But yeah, I should frame it. That would probably be the smart thing to do. But yeah, and I've always looked to the moon for inspiration, and a lot of the songs that I've written are while I'm on tour. At night while I'm sitting at the fucking hotel. Like, I wrote the greater majority of these songs while on the road with Michael Graves. I was on the road for 4 months, and every single night when I went back to the hotel, everyone retreats to their fucking hotel room, and I sit outside and hang out. And at the time, I was smoking cigarettes, and I was smoking a lot of weed, and like, so I just sit outside by myself because you can't smoke in a hotel room with my acoustic, and I just write. And most of it was, Dancing with the Devil at the Pale Moonlight.
Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, dude. Oh, dude, I wanted that. Prince wrote a song for that movie.
Yeah.
Called Dancing with the Devil in the Pale Moonlight. Or Have You Ever Danced? Whatever the fuck, whatever he named it.
He used that in the sentence, yeah. I don't remember the song, but I remember
the song is fucking horrible. It's like the worst song that Prince ever wrote ever. And it's why it didn't make it into the soundtrack. But you could find the old demos. And it's a horrible song. It's a horrible song. Like, I love Prince. I listen to Prince all the time. Bad song. Bad song. It's like one of those, you think it's going to be great, and it's really not, Kind of like when Trent Reznor, Danny Lohner, and Maynard had this band that they put together for years they were trying to work on called Tapeworm. And it's not that anything wasn't good, but it wasn't fucking great. It wasn't like like when you hear Trent Reznor and Danny Lohner, who was the guy that's been working, behind the scenes with Nine Inch Nails forever. He used to play guitar in the band. Hit those two, and then Maynard Keenan. It's like a fucking super group for the 90s.
Yeah, right.
And it never lived up to that. So they never did anything with it. Yeah, it didn't live up to Trent Reznor and Maynard.
The big names to live up to.
That's fucking big.
When you combine them, it still doesn't. That's wild.
Yeah, it's like Corey Taylor in Metallica. It's like if it doesn't live up to that dude singing for that band, like what your image of that would be in your mind, yeah, then you're better off just not releasing it.
Yeah. Well, hey, man.
So
I hate to cut you short, man, but it's approaching 5:30 here. I gotta get going.
Bitch.
I know.
All right. Well, listen, man. I miss you, and I can't wait to be on the Northeast again to hang out with you.
Absolutely, bro. You have to come by, see my little home studio, do some jamming and shit.
Yeah, I was thinking about maybe taking a trip up to New Jersey and just like hanging out because I miss my kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's gotta be tough.
It's the worst. It's absolutely. That's the only thing I hate about being in Florida, or California, or anywhere that's not right Jersey, where my kid is I just miss him. And so I have a credit with Southwest, but they don't fly to Newark anymore. They fly to like JFK or LaGuardia and shit.
It's close.
Yeah, it's close. Fucking an hour and a half. But to everyone in New Jersey, that's an hour and a half of traffic that no one wants to deal with. So I might come up. I'm gonna try either, maybe Thanksgiving, maybe Christmas and New Year's. The big problem with all that is I just need somewhere to stay. Like,
for sure. I
used to stay at my ex-wife's house, just like sleep on the couch and hang out. That way she could go to work. I'd take care of James, all this other stuff. But now there's this whole, she's got a new life, new like boyfriend. It's like a whole new like family setup that I learned last time that me being there is just a little too intrusive. Of that scenario, which you can imagine, and I understand. Yeah, I don't have any ill will. All I want to do is like fucking be friends with everyone. So it's like whatever you can, I get it. Whatever. I don't feel the same like negative emotion.
No, but you can.
But I understand. But I understand. So, once I figure out where the fuck to stay in New Jersey, because, musician, so I don't exactly have money to go and rent a hotel for 2 weeks around the holidays and rent a car and fly somewhere. Like,
Right. No,
that shit's so fucking expensive that barely, the good people who make good money can barely afford that shit. So, like, how is a fucking teacher musician gonna do it, right?
Yeah,
But
it's tough. Well, let me know. November, I'm gonna be gone for Thanksgiving. I'm being on tour for that.
yeah, hopefully I'll be with you. What?
Oh, I'll see what I can do. If there's room for a tech.
Listen,
I
got
tech.
a brand new guitar workbox and fucking Pelican filled with tools. So
I'll let you know what they say. But then Christmas, New Year's, I'm gonna go to Vermont at one point to see my grandma, but I'll be around.
I was thinking the Christmas New Year's because I was trying to see if we can't get everyone together again like we did last year at Ox's.
That'd be nice.
I just, you know what? I would like to continue that type of tradition.
At least once a year.
That's what I'm saying.
Bare
and
minimum, especially we're all scattered out. At the least, we can get together for that.
You know what I mean? And if I can get my ass to New Jersey for Christmas,
then you can get whoever from Westwood or whatever.
You know, like, yeah, I can.
These days. Everyone's in Clifton.
Yeah, everyone's in Clifton or fucking Passaic now. But if I could get there for the holidays, maybe we can lean on the shoulder of like Ox's Christmas parties and shit.
We'll figure something out, man. I got a house. I can have a party myself. We could do some shit like that.
Yeah, we could do that, man. Get Joe to come out.
I got a Tama Rockstar and a PA
you know
system.
Joe's birthday's coming up, right?
When is his birthday?
September something.
No, okay. I didn't know that exactly.
Like
Mine's October.
8th, 9th, 15th, something like that.
Okay. Nice.
His girlfriend had hit me up and said that if anyone wants to donate, she wants to get him a tattoo for his birthday. I suggested that maybe we try and get James Rowe to come up from Tennessee. It's his favorite tattoo artist. Try and get him to come up to New Jersey to give him a tattoo instead of
going around. Let me know. I'll throw in on it.
Yeah. I'll. His girlfriend started a group chat on Facebook. I'll put you in it.
Yeah, right on, man.
It's basically no one did anything in the group chat. It's just like J-Sick talking shit. It's like J-Sick being like, I want to fucking
my face on his
my
ass.
face on his ass.
Why did I know that's where he'd go?
And he goes like I want my face on his left ass cheek. And Joe's girlfriend was like, well, why not the right? He's like, that's reserved for Glenn, for Ox. You know, like. You imagine Joe Vasta just with J-Sick on one ass cheek and Ox on the other?
Unfortunately, I can't imagine that. Like 100%, not even a doubt. Oh, the guy with the guy's ass. Yeah, no, we know. We've all seen it.
Yeah. So,
yeah, let me know. If you got a fun going on, let me know. I'll contribute. And we'll
congratulations on the Whiplash gig, man.
Thank you, man.
That's a solid one.
It's a very interesting time.
That's a legacy act, man. Whiplash has been around since literally I've been breathing.
Since I was one. It's a weird honor, you know.
Yeah.
I never expected it. I never asked for it. I just showed up, did my job.
It's all you can do, man. You show up, you do your job. Sometimes you come out on top. Sometimes you don't come out up as high as you thought. But it doesn't matter.
You know,
as long as rule number
there's always
one,
another door down the road.
You have fun.
Oh, you know I do.
Yeah, man. Well,
Dude,
if Tony remembers who the fuck I am, tell him I said hi.
For sure.
And great fucking luck to everything else you got going on. And let's again. I love talking with you about this shit. Let's try and make it a little more regular.
Absolutely, man. That's why I
every
reached
couple
out.
of
That's
weeks,
why I was like 2:00 Saturday, done.
Dude, I didn't even hear back from my student. I just said, you know what? Fuck it, you and I are doing this. Like I just didn't even wait on them. Like I was trying to see.
I figured if it was something else. I think I don't know if I shot a different time out at first. I don't remember, but we figured it out. We'll do it again.
Yeah. Let's do this as often as we can. When do you go on Twitch next? Tell everybody.
Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. I'll be live on Twitch. WB Winton.
Well, fucking make sure to check him out. Super sick bass player. As you guys can tell, I have decades worth of memories with this kid right here. And if I didn't think that this was something of value to everyone, I wouldn't be doing it. But Will is so valuable to so many aspects of my specific journey, you know?
We were entangled for so long until we found our individual successes, and now we're all growing together, man.
Yeah, man, and that's the way it is.
Love it.
And out of the hundreds of people that we've been around, there's only a handful of us that have never given up. I don't know if that makes us mature or immature. I'm not really sure.
It makes us here.
Yeah, but we're here right now. So
the best ability is availability.
You know, someone told me that once.
Somebody very wise told me about that too, and then I jump on it.
Yeah, man. So fuck yeah, dude. Keep up the great work.
Always a pleasure to talk with you, Dean.
Yeah, man. I miss you, and we'll touch base again soon.
Absolutely, bro.
Tuesdays on Twitch, WB Winton. What time?
7 p.m. Eastern.
7 p.m. Eastern. Fuck yeah. I'll see you soon, bud.
See you then. Take care.
Peace.